Horn here. Over 1 million babies are lost to abortion every year in the United States. Tragically, 70% of those women who had abortions report feeling coerced into aborting their baby. Through Compass Care's nationwide telecare platform, the pro-life community can now reach women anytime, anywhere. From the busy streets of New York City to the beaches of San Diego, a woman facing an unplanned pregnancy can be seen by a pro-life nurse in as little as 24 seconds. Compass Care transforms a woman's fear into confidence, helping her say no to abortion and yes to her baby. Help a woman save her baby at saveababy.us today and get a free ebook with a gift of any amount. Your gift of $47 to Compass Care provides care and support to a woman, saving her from a coercion and her baby from the abortion. Go to saveababy.us, saveababy.us.
How would you define your relationship with sleep? Are there challenges, trouble falling asleep or staying asleep? Here's the thing about sleep. It's the foundation of whole body health. Good sleep is both mental and physical, and our daily performance depends on it. So how do you get to your dream state? 3 words. Beam's Dream Powder, a science-backed, healthy hot cocoa for sleep. This product will single-handedly change the way you sleep for the better. Text Beam to 717-767. That's BEAM to 717-767 for up to 40% off. Other sleep aids can cause next-day grogginess, but Dream is an all-natural blend of ingredients like magnesium and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. And for a limited time, you can get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder, their science-backed healthy hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Text BEAM to 717-767 for up to 40% off. That's BEAM to 717-767.
Let's face it, the world is uncertain these days, but there's something reassuring about holding on to what lasts. The 2025 1-ounce Gold Eagle from the U.S. Mint, a symbol of American strength and an asset that stands the test of time. You can trust gold and you can trust Global Coin. Call 833-SPOT-GOLD to secure this magnificent coin graded in pristine MS-70 condition for the dealer cost of $30.99. Free shipping, no sales tax. This is your chance to own a piece of history while building a foundation of enduring value. It gets even better. Global Coin is giving the first 100 callers a free MS-70 2025 Silver Eagle to complement your 1-ounce Gold Eagle. 2 iconic coins, a symbol of prosperity and a testament to the enduring value of gold and silver. Global Coin backs every purchase with a 30-day return policy, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit globalcoindeal.com or call 833-SPOT-GOLD. No gimmicks, incredible coins at incredible prices. Again, that's 833-SPOT-GOLD.
Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt, joined now by the poet laureate of the Hugh Hewitt Show, Tarzan and Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Hugh. I'm feeling kind of Andy Rooney-ish today.
Oh, no.
And that's because, have you ever written a poem about something you know nothing about, but then eventually got the moral of the story right? I think I've done that. We'll see. I walked into a physics class and then did something big. I turned and left that classroom because I was taking trig. I saw a celebration, and I would have been delighted to taste what they were serving, but I hadn't been invited. A cashier gave me too much change, and even though I'm thrifty, I pointed out I paid her with a 20, not a 50. I play a lot of money golf with that old duffer Timmy, and rarely will I ever take a gimme. If I knew your darkest secrets, I swear I wouldn't besmirch you. And with all that, I'd never claim to be the prince of virtue. But if included in a chat where bombing raids were planned, believe me when I tell you, I'd say stop and raise my hand. They say it was an accident. Who am I to tell you? But if you think that's all there is, I have a bridge to sell you. Let me tell you something, and I'll tell it to you gently. Nothing in that capital happens accidentally. Let this be a lesson when you're planning an attack. Identify the target, but you'd better watch your back. That's Integrity Gate by Tarzan and Joe.
Integrity Gate will be posted, I hope, at tarzanandjoe.com. And if you have any poetry need at all, just email Joe at tarzanandjoe@reagan.com, tarzanandjoe@reagan.com. Thank you, Joe. I got to finish by playing for you all The most important moment of the week. I'm playing it for the 5th time in 2 hours because I want to make sure all of the audience hear it. Donald Trump at the White House earlier today, cut number 15.
Iran is very high on my list of things to watch. And as you probably know, I sent them a letter just recently. And I said, you're going to have to make a decision one way or the other. And we're going to either have to talk and talk it out, or very bad things are going to happen to Iran. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. My big preference, and I don't say this through strength or weakness, my big preference is we work it out with Iran. But if we don't work it out, bad things are going to happen to Iran.
Watch that space this weekend and watch who covers it and who doesn't. Let me close this hour. The Hillsdale Dialogue is coming up by reminding you, this is the last time you'll hear me say in this hour, I'll tell you one more time next hour, our annual campaign for Food for the Poor wraps up today. It's your last chance to go over to HughHewitt.com and hit the banner at the top, which says Feed Their Future. $100 will feed one child in El Salvador for an entire year. Now, I do this during Lent because I like to remind people Lent is supposed to be, for Christians, a period of sacrifice and penance. There is no better way than helping the lost and the least and feeding the hungry and clothing the naked. And that's what you do for the least in El Salvador. You do for him. You can do it through Food for the Poor via my website. Over there at the very top, there's a banner that not even a Steelers fan can miss. It's called Feed Their Future. And I encourage you, please, be as generous as you can. $100, $200, $500. Thank you in advance from me for all you're doing for them. I'll be right back with Dr. Larry Orange. Hillsdale
I'm Dean
Dialogue
Owen,
is next.
CPA. Tax laws are always changing. That's why
you need to know if you sold a home in 2024. I'm Hillary Barsky with your Fox Business Tax Tip coming up.
Hey, I'm Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. I hope you will join me every Tuesday and Thursday as we navigate life together and hopefully find ourselves a little bit better on the other side.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com.
If you sold your home last year, you might be eligible for a tax break known as the 121 rule. To be eligible to exclude up to $250,000 from the capital gain of that sale, you must have lived in the home as a primary residence for at least 2 of the last 5 years. If you were married, that doubles to $500,000. Capital gains taxes on a home owned for 5 or more years are about 20%. Those owned for less than 2 years is closer to 37%. It's important to note that even if you sold more than one home, that money can only be deducted every 2 years. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
A wipeout on Wall Street. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The worst plunge since COVID hit in 2020.
Stocks plunged with the NASDAQ and S&P 500 falling deeper into correction territory after President Trump unveiled his wide-ranging tariff plan. The president announcing sweeping tariffs of 10% on imports and much higher levies on about 60, including China and the European Union, fueling global recession fears.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. The Dow dropping 1,679 points, back under 41K. But President Trump says the U.S. will boom.
And the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal? They've taken advantage of us for many, many years.
He says the focus should be on trillions of dollars of investment already announced in the U.S., also telling reporters he's open to tariff negotiations depending on what other countries offer. The Pentagon's acting inspector general launching a review of the defense secretary's use of a messenger app for a group chat about airstrike plans. The app is encrypted but publicly available, and a reporter was inadvertently included.
National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has taken responsibility for setting up that chat on Signal. The inspector general says the review was requested by the top Republican and Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth insists the material included was not classified. Dr. Mehmet Oz just winning Senate confirmation to oversee Medicare and Medicaid programs. The vote along party lines, 53-45. Parts of the central and southern U.S. recovering from deadly storms. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee.
There have been multiple lives lost across the state, widespread flooding, multiple tornadoes throughout the night
and tornado warnings throughout the day today.
Fox Weather says yesterday's tornado outbreak now blamed for at least 8 deaths in the Mississippi Valley. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you planning a trip to the Philippines? Why not come back feeling healthier and more rejuvenated? At the Medical City, we offer world-class healthcare services, including comprehensive executive checkups and top-tier aesthetic treatments for as low as $530. Imagine lounging on white sandy beaches, shopping at top-tier shopping centers, and indulging in premium healthcare all in one vacation. Book your getaway now and experience the best of both worlds. The Medical City, your trusted partner in health.
Parents rally in Chicago against a bill that would regulate homeschooling.
They feel like this bill argues that parents don't know what's best for their own kids and that the state should be the one to decide how and what their kids are taught in their own homes. And mind you, this is a state where 2/3 of public school students can't read at grade level. So today, a big crowd came out to rally against this bill known as the Homeschool Act that would force parents to register their kids with the local school district or be thrown in jail for 30 days with a $500 fine. This bill also empowers local school officials to send investigators to a family's home if they're concerned about the kind of education a child is getting and force parents to turn over their curriculum and their child's schoolwork for review.
Fox's Garrett Tenney in Chicago. Supporters of the bill say oversight is needed, in part to ensure children not attending school are protected. Reality TV star Teddy Mellencamp is now fighting stage 4 cancer, confirming the doctors found 4 more brain tumors only a month after her initial diagnosis.
The 43-year-old Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star told Us Weekly, "I'm fighting for my life, but also for my family's life and all the people I love." Mellencamp explained she rushed to the emergency room in February after medication stopped relieving her migraines and severe pain set in. She said ER doctors discovered multiple brain tumors. Surgeons successfully removed 4 brain tumors she'd been living with unknowingly for 6 months to a year. Mellencamp also had 2 tumors in her lungs, all caused by melanoma that had metastasized through her body. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Teddy Mellencamp is the daughter of singer John Mellencamp. Recapping Wall Street, the Dow plummeting more than 1,600. The NASDAQ also dropping more than 1,000. The S&P down more than 4%. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Celebrating the 176th year anniversary of American President Lines. APL is a trusted partner to the U.S. government and its military. Our U.S. flagged vessels are proud to provide ocean transportation, logistics, and critical mission support worldwide, and most especially to our local partners right here on Guam and Saipan. APL has an extensive network that connects your shipping needs to anywhere in the world. The APL Guam team is dedicated and here to help you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com. APL Global Presence with a local home.
Just in time for Lent. It's our new fiery BK Big Fish sandwich. 100% white Alaskan pollock, breaded in panko, topped with a fiery glazed sweet tartar sauce, tangy pickles on top of a warm toasted brioche bun. Also available, our Impossible Whopper, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. Make it a combo meal with French fries, onion rings, or halfsies, and a refreshing brewed sweet or unsweetened tea. We're ready to serve you this Lenten season, now available at BK Aganya, Dumont Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. Have an amazing day. You rule.
Your next adventure is closer than you think with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. Every swipe earns you miles, which gets you closer to your next getaway. Apply today, and if approved, you can earn 30,000 bonus miles when you spend $1,500 within the first 3 months after account opening. Wherever you're headed, get there with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit a First Hawaiian branch or go to fhb.com/United.
Your 7 o'clock local news is brought to you by AB Risk Solutions.
Well, Half a day and good morning, Guam at 7:06 on Friday, April 4. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. A traffic stop for speeding led to a drug arrest Wednesday morning. Police say 28-year-old Peter Manabusan George II was pulled over for going 65 in a 35-mile-per-hour zone. Officers noticed his hands were shaking and asked if he had anything concerning in his car. He replied, "Just ice." Police found 8 baggies of meth under his seat. George later admitted the drugs were his. He was charged with drug possession and released on a $3,000 personal recognizance bond. His case is now in Superior Court. Meanwhile, Lotte Hotel Guam has settled a lawsuit with a Texas woman who sued after slipping and falling in 2022. Elaine Rodriguez claimed she was injured stepping out of an elevator because of a wet floor with no proper warning signs. She filed suit in 2023 seeking damages over $75,000. A settlement conference was set for the 22nd, but both sides agreed to dismiss the case on Monday. The settlement terms are confidential. Each party will cover its own legal costs. The case is now closed after more than a year and a half of legal proceedings. We'll have more news after this.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Agana Heights has trapped 300 feral pigs in 2 months. Mayor Rich Arroyo says the U.S. Department of Agriculture set up high-tech corral traps on private property. The traps are baited and monitored with cameras. Once a herd gathers, workers close the trap remotely. The pigs are then killed and removed. Arroyo says the program is important because the pigs cause damage and spread disease. He urges other villages to join so the pigs don't move elsewhere. He's also cracking down on stray dogs, reminding residents that even dogs with collars must be on a leash. And Ho Sang-un, the newest appointee to the GVB board, says Guam needs to promote tourist attractions beyond the Tumon area to encourage repeat visits. Un, the chair of Cortec International, shared insights from a meeting with Hana Tours CEO, highlighting that tourists need more than just Tumon to justify returning. He emphasized the importance of maintaining facilities such as parks and restrooms to meet expectations. Un also addressed issues with landing fees, which are higher than in Hawaii, and is working with the airport to lower costs for airlines, particularly low-cost carriers from Korea. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
Okay, I'll get around to doing that, but I appreciate now Mayor Richard Arroyo's point that he made in the Mayor's Council meeting the other day about the pigs, and then going after dogs too. He says he's trapping stray dogs in the village. He recently reminded residents of Agana Heights that Guam has a leash law, and even dogs with collars will be collected if they're loose and roaming the streets. Quote, if it's a collar from Beverly Hills, it doesn't matter. It has to have a leash on it. So those of you with your Louis Vuittons and your Pierre Cardin dog collars, make sure that they're on a leash. Otherwise, Mayor Richard Arroyo will gather them up here. It's 10 after 7 o'clock in the morning. The weather for Friday is mostly sunny, with highs near 87 degrees, easterly winds 8 to 11 miles an hour, partly cloudy tonight. Overnight lows of about 76 degrees. Into the weekend, we go Saturday morning weather, includes mostly sunny skies, possibly some isolated showers, and highs near 87 degrees. Sunday, same thing, mostly sunny, daytime highs of about 88 degrees. This is a Grill Marks weekend and 4-alarm Grill Marks weekend. If you have not yet put together any plans, please try to include at least, I don't know, I'm talking about an hour, maybe 2 hours over in a beach location with the sand between your toes, some salt water up around your hair. With a heat index today, it's going to feel like 94 degrees, 20% chance of rain. Sunrise this morning was at 6:14. And I'm looking to see if I've got any gorgeous sunrise. There it is. Gorgeous sunrise picture from Jeff over at Pirates Cove. You want to know about the weather, the details in the weather that I'm not giving you. He's got a great weather page at his website. Sunset tonight's going to be at 6:33. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together on 93.3 The Point, brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 70 years.
Wendy's perfect Lenten meal is back, and it's making a splash. Dive into the crispy panko fish fillet sandwich made with wild caught hot Alaskan fish fillet, served crispy, golden brown, and topped with creamy dill tartar sauce, pickles, lettuce, and American cheese, all on a soft toasted bun. Or reel in the fish platter. It's the catch of the day, crispy golden fish fillet with fluffy rice and freshly chopped garden salad. Quick, simple, quality, only at Wendy's. Spring into savings with Docomo Pacific's Business Mobile Solutions. This season, refresh your business connectivity and save up to $720 when you sign up for a business mobile plan. Enjoy unlimited talk, text, and data all on the island's widest and most reliable mobile network. Don't miss out. Lock in your savings before the season's over. Visit info.docomopacific.com/save-big to learn more. Some conditions apply.
Right on. Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And I'm excited today. Because today is my, it's the second of my E-Volt get-togethers.
Oh, wow.
With the girl over at Take Care. I think her name is Gianna. And so I am hoping that in the last about month and a half or so since my last one, the metrics, like 44 different metrics that this thing looks at, will have improved significantly. I know of one that I'm pretty sure has improved, but we'll find out a little bit later on today. You can do the same thing. It's E-Volt is the name of the program, and if you're a member of the Take Care family, you are going to absolutely love trying it out. So portions of the program also brought to you by her and them at Take Care.
It's the Ray Gibson Show.
Sorry, Relay.
Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
That's the song that we normally start the morning show with. It's just, you might want to see if you lower that one down and bring in...
Oh, let me try and find that one. What is it called again?
The regular one. I don't know. Ray Gibson Show intro. Might be in the
Because I'm
mix
late.
there. What's that?
Because I'm late.
Or are we going to... you're jumping up and admitting it.
I have to.
Okay.
I got to take responsibility.
Is a good
My
man.
tomorrow side got the best of me this morning.
7:13 in the morning, and normally the program starts at 6 o'clock this morning. I came in, and it was odd because the doors that are normally open were locked. And the building was quiet and it was dark, and I thought, well, there's something wrong here. And so I began the process of trying to decide whether I was going to try to drive up to Agania Heights and bang on a door, or call the police, or call the morgue to find out what happened with
Dude,
with
you
Real
should
Joe.
have called the mayor.
So I did. I reached out to the mayor. I said, and so he's looking for you now. I forgot to tell him that you're okay. And so the technical difficulty that I referred to this morning had to do with Real Joe's inability to wake up from the alarm clock. We need to get him a louder alarm clock. Is that that's basically the story, right?
No.
What's the other sword you're going to fall on?
I need to get up when I'm supposed to get up.
there's that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
I blew it.
We're here. We're on, and never mind. Got the hours is gone, and it's not going to be able to come back. That just means that we've got to pack 4 hours worth of drive time, entertainment, news, and information in the 3 hours that we've got ahead of us. 7:15 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Jerry Roberts coming in before too much longer. And lots of stuff on the table of contents. And we'll begin though with what's going on, maybe nationally, internationally, in the world of finance. The guys over at CNBC, stocks plummeted Thursday, sending the S&P 500 back into correction territory for the biggest one-day loss since 2020, after President Donald Trump unveiled sweeping tariffs, raising the risk of a global trade war that plunges the economy into recession. The bond market dropped 4.84% and settled at 5,396, posting its worst day since June of 2020. The Dow Jones Industrial Average tumbled. Are you ready for this? Trump haters are digging this. They're absolutely, yeah. All the
He has haters?
Trump derangement syndrome people are going, oh my God, do you see what he did to the economy? The tumbled 1,679 points, or 3.98%, to close at 40,545 and mark its worst session since June of 2020. The NASDAQ composite plummeted 5.97% and ended 16,550, registering the biggest decline since March of 2020. The slide across equities was broad, with more than 400 of the S&P 500 constituents posting losses. Are you going shopping this morning? You need to call your guys over at Merrill and wherever you got your investing dough at, and tell them to start doing some buy, because I think all of the markets are going to be on sale here this morning. They will rebound, and I don't know what these tariffs are going to end up meaning around here. I mean, it's possible that as they get laid out, goods and things that don't necessarily come from the United States of America are probably going to be a little bit higher, which just means that we're going to have to start shopping and buying American. You know, we make our own toilet paper.
We do.
In the United States of America.
Is it soft?
Very, very soft.
I hope so.
Very, very soft. Anyway, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It's the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled as usual to be here with you. Sorry about the late start. We're on, and everything is underway. Real Joe, despite his earlier absence, will get the phone this morning at 888-8255-888-TALK. There may be some kind of mea culpa, some kind of ma'asi as he answers the phone, but he'll be there. Maximum effort now, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
I could cry and point fingers, though.
What's that?
I could cry and point fingers and play victim.
You can.
I mean, could.
Everybody else does. I don't see why you don't.
But I'll take accountability.
Donna D is going to take care of news and headlines until at least 8:30 this morning, although there was a moment of excitement about 6:27 when I was looking at my watch and said, I'm not sure.
You mean when you said I could go?
Yes, exactly. That very
She was
moment.
hoping I was dead.
I wasn't sure exactly what was going to be taking place, and figure, what the hell, if there's not going to be any news, I don't need to pay you, so I was going to let you run out and do all of that. And then the phone rang, and Real Joe said, I'm alive. It's okay. Eyes are open here this morning. At any rate, so she's going to take care of news and headlines and all of that. In the meantime, so much going on, so much to talk about. Did you see Chris Barnett's reel on the socials yesterday? I know you didn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was an interesting couple of minutes that he had posted there asking Conchita Titano, and I don't think,
was this about the elevator?
No, this is about her trips or whatever. As a member of the port board, and I thought it was kind of interesting because I don't think he knows Corny very well. First of all, she's a JFK graduate from GGO. And she's a Titano, and all of the combination here, all of that combined equals we don't take blank from anybody.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was kind of interesting.
Tread lightly.
For sure. But I thought it was kind of interesting the back and forth and the exchange that they had. The other day over at the legislature. Plus, he got into Roy Respicio asking all kinds of questions about did you know about this? Did you know about that? Maybe we'll explore and unpack some of that as the program continues. 7:19 in the morning, though, and we got to say good morning to all of these unpackers here.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. You want to go where people know people are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
That's right. Nick Perlowski knows JFK, class in 1979, and it shows because we're talking about Corny here. 7:20 in the morning. Quick look at who's making headlines here with us on the Facebook side, YouTube side, cranking. Auntie Bennett, Lujan Duenas was first in the mix. Buenos and half a day. Nice to see you there. Ismael Velez. Let me see. I see EOD Kaboom online.
Hot wives.
Absolutely. Big man Rico Blankenfloor watching the program here. And nice to see us. Baba Yaga.
You're still alive.
Yes, thank you very much. Nice to hear that. Elizabeth Mendiola Kitsu online says, thank you, Ray. No, it's okay. Happy to be here with you. Friday, says Big man Rico. What do we got? Good morning, Guam. It's Friday from EOD Kaboom. Margaret Estachio saying good morning, sending her best wishes out to everybody. That's nice. Good to see Peter J. Santos. You know, I was listening to a song last night, and
Which one?
I don't know. I can't remember now, but it occurred to me as I was listening to it. That's where the long S comes from. I'll remember it before too much longer. I got him online. Let me see. Auntie Bennett is saying her greetings to everybody. Jack Larimer, there it is. See you at my gig at the Deucet Beach Resort Lobby Bamboo Bar Sunday and Monday from 6 to 9. Thank you very much. Jack Larimer is part of the Point Familia, and you know, if you got a gig, if you got a hustle going on, and you want to let the other Familia know about it, so that we can go watch you or buy whatever the product or service, by all means, put it in a thing. It's all right. I got let me see, Alpha Omega Buenos and Hafade, the Point from Live Oak, Texas. There might be more from him before too much longer. There's Francis Duffy, Zan Pat Saho saying good morning to everybody. Joey Keats to Buenos and Hafade. We're all strong because of Eric Chong. The Christine Oliver chiming in saying happy Friday. Thank goodness you're here. I'm here, and I'm glad you're there. Mike Rios is online. Tony Guman, Buenos and Hafade. There's Stephen Blake.
Real guy.
As it turns out,
morning,
he is
guy.
a real human
Sorry
being.
I'm late.
It's okay. Anna Marie Pello Bello is hanging out. EOD says, I'm just jazzed to be here. Bro, I haven't seen you in the place lately. We got to get together and talk about amateur radio. Alicia Duenas Anderson saying, happy Friday to the Point Familia. Buenos and off a day to you. Keenan McCausland from the upper left-hand corner. And let me see. Tattoo Shauna Fujikawa Stickle says, love the shirt, Ray. Thank you very much. Glad you like it. This is one of my throwback shirts. It's got cassettes on it from back in the old days whenever you had a Boss cassette deck in your car, you were like super bomb. Isabel says 8 bags of ice, and the guy was released on $3,000. This is the problem with our island. We need the DEA to clean up drug Guam. I mean Gov Guam. Ooh,
that's only 8. Dude.
Ooh, what's that? Not Gov Guam, drug Guam. Okay, gotcha. Melvin R. Santa saying morning to all. There's Christine Oliver also loves the shirt. Thank you, dear. Henry Menglot, watching the program. Chris Watson with eyes up. Leslie St. Nicholas, Biba Betness to the Point Familia. Hava Bunker Meadow is sending some shouts to Alpha Omega. So glad Joe is okay, says Tattoo Shauna.
Dude, don't tell her I rolled my eyes, man.
Just wait until 10.
She doesn't care,
We'll
dude.
see if he's okay at 10 after the lecture is done. Let me see. Jesse Nanetti, Aurelio Pareda, Buenos and Alfade. Get Joe a rooster. Marcia Lujan is online. Let me see. Henry Manglot, you're saying good morning. Anna Marie, Buenos and Alfade. Johnny Atulai and his whole family there. Ike Iseki's online. Carol Ann Prune. And Jason at Military Auto Source saying good morning. Ruel, the Rooster Drillon. JB St. Nicholas is hanging out with us. Cecile Bambasuda. John Mofnas. Not that one.
Okay.
That's the other one. And let me see. What's that? Good morning, my Tesla's Democrat friends, Musk Republican friends. Receipt to Lujan Perez, Mike Grace Blas. Good to see Joe Takai online. Let me see. I'll be there this weekend, buddy, says EOD Kaboom. All right, we'll see what the sandwiches are. And I think that might be it on the Facebook side. YouTube side cranking as well, including JW saying TGIF. Brennan Fausto, Jigo USMC Jarhead, woke up for the show. Good to see Peter Torino online. Frenchie, Vince Duenas, Bad Boy 671 Barbecue. JW says balloon smuggler, grill marks, thrill marks, barbecue marks, and tattoo marks. Yes, that's what the weekend is looking like here, and we're gonna get it. It's gonna come a little bit faster because it's only doing 3 hours today, so it's gonna come a whole lot faster to me. Tommy Napati is there. Are you Kaduku 671 saying happy Friday? Definitely time to buy. Hold on to your britches though. He says it's Def Drug Guam. I called drug-like activity to the central station. Nothing. No cars. They didn't even leave a note for the day team. OAG laughed at me when I called them for help. Ron Castro's online. And then there's Barry, who's making a weird kind of like just bit of lemon emoji. I'm not really sure what's going on. Somebody was asking if Donna wanted some Main Street. There it is. JW asking Donna if she wants Main Street Deli Donuts.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you kidding, man? What kind of question is that?
You shouldn't. Don't even ask.
Does Jerry Roberts want hair?
How did I get dragged?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Jose Martinez asking if we turn
more
back.
more than just a talking to at 10 o'clock.
You think there might
a paddle? There's got to be a paddle somewhere.
Well, you know what? We're all morning guys around here. We're all morning people, and there's not one of us, I'm sure, that hasn't had that one dream. Where you wake up in your dream and you're unredeemably late to get into the office. You get into the office, nothing is working. The turntables don't work. The cartridge machines are offline. The CD players don't work.
Wait a second. You're talking about KUAM in the old days.
Yeah, well, it's a dream that I have regularly.
But I made it come true, Ray.
You made it come true.
Yeah.
Well, here's what you missed. For some reason, when I got in this morning, and like I said, the lights were off and the place was cold and dark. And for some reason, I couldn't get the alarm to shut off. I'm sitting there, I'm punching in every number that I remember, and for some reason, the alarm thing won't go off. The guy from the alarm company calls up, and he starts giving me some other codes to try. And I said, well, none of this is working. What do I do? He says, can you get used to the alarm going off? I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to. So it was one of those weird kind of mornings for me as well. 7:26 in the morning. Who's on the phone?
I'm sorry, Uncle Si, but he has a meeting to go to.
But I got Jerry Roberts is here.
Who's more important?
Well, it's Simon, actually.
I shall defer.
For just a couple of minutes. Simon Sanchez on the line here this morning. The reason why we're reaching out to him is I don't know who called which demon, but the guy sends me a picture last night of a report from the Guam Power Authority and the Ukadu plant. I'll put the thing up on the screen, even though I don't really know how to translate it. So I'll ask you for our listeners to describe what it is that they're going to be looking at. Good morning, Si.
Good morning, Ray. Was the point load shedding this morning?
There might have been some of that. I'm not entirely sure. That's what we'll do. Is if Real Joe's alarm clock didn't go off because the lights went out last night. There was actually load shedding. Brittany Tollefson reporting on her socials this morning that she had to put the kids to sleep without electricity and air conditioning last night. But I want to show this to the listeners, if you don't mind. There's a bunch of numbers on it. 46 megawatts coming out of one gizmo. 46 megawatts coming out of another gizmo, 47 megawatts coming out of a third gizmo, and if my understanding is correct, this is the three different units, the additional unit. I'm sorry, 3 different units over at Ukadu that were online, hitting their capacity. Is that right?
You got it, and I bet when you add it up, you'll get to 139 megawatts or 140 megawatts, which is that number on the lower left side. You can of that picture. I think if it's the one I recall sending to you.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, Ukadu is being tested, and last night they test individually the units just the way you understood it, and then they test all 3 at once. And last night all 3 were brought up to maximum load, and last night Ukadu was sending 140 megawatts of power into the grid. As a preview of what's about to happen as we begin to reduce our reliance on oil and increase the reliability of the system, as Ukadu inches its way, maybe I'm saying that runs its way to opening officially full power on September 1st. We were very excited to see all of those units working, performing as we expect them to do, and providing 140 megawatts. Congratulations to GPA and their team, John Beneventi, Tracy, John Cruz, who planned all this stuff, and then the guys that run it, design it, procure it, and then to our partners, KEPCO, for providing us, public-private partnership, a $600 million generator that is going to improve the lives of the people of Guam.
And this is a good precursor. Next hour, we'll talk to some of your guys over at GPA about the Power Symposium that is going to be coming up here in just a couple of days. And so I'll get some details on what that's going to mean for the general public. But getting back to the issue here I said load shedding is over, and that was about 7:25 last night. And as I'm saying load shedding is over, apparently we kicked a cog or something like that. And there was actual load shedding last night.
Yeah, I think it was later. So my assumption, and Tracy will know more than me, but my assumption is, you run it at full load, you run it for a while, then you take it back down, and you say, okay, so far so good. They take it back down, and we're back to Cavers, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, hanging on by their fingertips, and as a result, there was some load shedding. But we saw a glimpse of the future, that load shedding will come to an end or be significantly reduced once Ukudu comes online.
Awesome.
But we were reminded of the past. You and I were joking about the old girlfriend that walks in that you hadn't seen in a while. Although load shedding we've seen a little more recently. And it still can happen. The vulnerability of the system until Ukudu is 100% online 100% of the time.
So my understanding, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I know that with the power plants, there's a couple of different lingos that you use. There's, was it contributing to the grid, or was that 140 megawatts just station power? And you said those 140 megawatts coming out of Ukudu were actually feeding into the grid yesterday.
Yes, they were. And that tells, my guess again is they back down and they say you're ready to go, Ukudu. They put it into the grid, and I bet Cavers 3 and 4 were back down. The other units could be back down. The peaking units probably weren't even turned on at all because we didn't need their capacity. But once John B. and the team are saying, okay, this looks good, you do it in reverse. We're going to take down Ukudu. As we take down Ukudu, you put backup Cavers, what's left of it, and you put up the peaking units. Those are more expensive. Those are old. And we got a glimpse of what the new car is going to look and how it's going to perform, and it looked really good.
I was excited to see that, and I'm happy to share that with the listeners this morning. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, so I'm going to let you get to it. We've got a rather busy and compressed morning in front of us, so I'll talk to you pretty soon. Hugging a kiss to Auntie Lou, and I'll be looking forward to our walking date soon.
Very soon. Have a great weekend, Point Familia, and Brother Ray and Donna D and the RJC.
And the RJC. And don't forget Jerry Roberts.
And, how can I forget Jerry?
Well, yeah, because he
well, you did.
he actually deferred.
I'm getting old. I'm getting old. But, remember, if the Finihi doesn't start to fly back on morning radio, me and morning radio would have never been the same.
That's a fact.
So he's the real pioneer.
He's
sort of like Cavers, right? He's hanging on by his fingertips. Right?
Okay, you got to go now. Bye. Simon Sanchez from the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. Jerry Roberts shaking his bald head this morning. I don't know.
I'm just appalled.
I don't even know where that came from.
I've been compared to a decrepit power unit.
Yeah, that's okay.
My wife has said the same thing a couple of times. Never mind.
Yeah, they're still running on dinosaur blood, so and we're both dinosaurs anymore. 7:33 in the morning. It's time for Jerry Roberts and a very special extra point being brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Chair.
Thank you. Donald Trump revealed his next step in his plan for tariffs yesterday, and the media and social media went unhinged again. Haters are going to hate. So I've decided to just let them go. There is nothing other than Trump leaving office that's going to make them happy. If you are not a hater, again, if you are not a hater, but you are concerned about America and how these tariffs will impact us, hopefully what I have to offer today will give you some light to move forward with confidence. That's coming next on the Extra Point.
Your next adventure is closer than you think with the United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank. Every swipe earns you miles, which gets you closer to your next getaway. Apply today, and if approved, you can earn 30,000 bonus miles when you spend $1,500 within the first 3 months after account opening. Wherever you're headed, get there with the First Hawaiian Bank United Credit Card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit a First Hawaiian branch or go to fhb.com/United.
At APL, their expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing their efforts in giving back to the community. APL's dedicated team in Guam and the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Tariffs have been with us for about 5,000 years. From what I could find, the earliest example was in Mesopotamia, around 3000 BC. The Roman Empire, well, they had them too. In general, tariffs are used to protect a nation's industries, promote fair competition, and maybe, under certain circumstances, even its national security. These fees are subject to renegotiation when imbalances exist between two countries. President Trump's position is that existing trade agreements are not in balance, and this has cost America trillions of dollars in the last few decades. He wants to change that. With a national debt at almost $37 trillion, trade imbalances simply can't continue. Government overspending cannot continue. Ray Dalio, a widely respected investment leader, came out a short time ago with a report that said that we are at 43 to $44 trillion is the point of no return on this debt vis-a-vis the economy. We don't want to go there, but we're in the neighborhood. 37, if you're lopping on a couple of $1 trillion a year, then you can theorize that we're only a couple, 3-4 years away from hitting those marks. So unlike his predecessors, Trump is going to try to do something to turn things around. Haters aside, if you're worried that America is going to be ruined by these new tariffs, I think you can relax. Markets always adjust. Trump's plan is based on a reciprocal trade structure, or tariff structure. In the chart he used yesterday, he's imposing rates at roughly 50% of the tariffs the U.S. must pay. Now, there are different tariffs. There's baseline tariffs, and then there's special interest tariffs and all that. It's pretty confusing. But the bottom line is the U.S. usually doesn't charge the same things other people do. The U.K., Singapore, China, and maybe a couple of others were at 10%, which is the same we pay in their countries. Of course, there is another way. If foreign leaders don't like the tariffs, then they should just do away with theirs, and America can match them. Then there will be no tariffs anywhere, and the dream of completely free global trade would be reality. Now, here's the question. How many countries will go for that? Few, if any. Because if they did, then they would have American products flooding their markets, and their industries would not be protected. Instead, they scream foul. The Democrats do likewise, and the liberal media pushes fear, trying to undermine the effort. Nobody talks about what will happen if significant changes don't take place. As I said, we're in the neighborhood of the $43 to $44 trillion, where bad things are going to happen. Bad, worse than what we have now. So it's all childish. The American market is the most sought after in the world. These people can rattle their economic swords all they want. At the end of the day, what they really want is Americans buying their products. Thus, they will look to renegotiate. Trump has already received over $1 trillion in investment commitments, maybe $2 trillion by now, from companies that want to beat the tariffs. The competitors of those companies will likely fall in line as well. That's a win for America in terms of generating manufacturing jobs. All this said, what if Trump fails? There is a global tariff war, the American economy tanks, and there is general malaise and hopelessness this time next year. Well, then it's probable that the Republicans will lose control of Congress in the midterm elections, and Trump will become a lame duck president for the last 2 years of his term. That's the gamble. That's what's on the table right now. Do nothing and watch us inch closer to economic disaster and the unthinkable prospects of a United States bankruptcy, or try to turn things around in the face of constant opposition. So again, if you're not a Trump hater and you just want some stability in your life and hope that one day our nation is in a better financial condition, then just relax and watch it play out. That's what I'm doing. We've been headed down the wrong road for a long, long time. Politicians have been ignoring trade imbalances and government bloat forever. Eventually, bills come due. All anybody should want is a solution. And personally, I don't much care who comes up with it. If Democrats have a better idea than tariffs, then let's hear it. In the meantime, I plan to control the things I can control and believe that nations will do what nations have always done. They find a way to do business with each other. I'm not going to let the media or social media put a tariff on my happiness and confidence. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3 FM, The Ray Gibson Show, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
But, Jerry, the markets are all down.
Markets are always down, and they're up.
And then they're up again.
And Monday, they'll go up a few hundred points.
Yep.
And does that mean that Trump's tariffs are working and everything's fine? Markets do what markets are always going to do. They're manipulated.
Orange man.
And if you're on the wrong side of the markets and the manipulation, you lose.
Then you're going to lose. Right. You just gotta try to sort things out, or as you say, find different methods that you are a little bit more control of. S&P 500 led down. The biggest loser there looks like Dell Technologies, off by about 18 points. Let me see, the NASDAQ, let me see who's led them down. Microchip Technologies. The Dow is down, led down by Nike Incorporated. They're up by 14.44. But I note that Walt Disney is in there, and Walt Disney's laws has nothing to do with the Trump tariffs. It has everything to do with that stupid Snow White movie that they came out with, which may bankrupt the entire Disney organization. 7:41 in the morning.
Maybe
I think that's great advice.
Maybe Trump should have put a tariff on the Disney
movies,
Snow White
right?
tickets.
It's like that. It's like that. What a great way to get into the weekend. I appreciate that vote of confidence. As I said, I've been looking at some of the social media since I come in this morning, and they're all like, "Oh, the orange man bad. The tariffs are dragging everything down, and it's going to be the ruination of the American economy. Get ready for the next big depression." Yeah, I'm with you.
And the ones the people I was talking friends of ours here. Do this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the people online that I've never met before. That's one thing. But some of these are people that you've known for years, and every day they are throwing rocks at this situation without really a fundamental understanding of how it all works. Not that I understand it deeply, but the point is, you have to. History tells you things.
Bro, we've been allowing free trade from people that have been charging allies of the United States of America, people that we have funded with all of that U.S. aid money over all of these years, that have been charging us tariffs. Yeah. So they're taking our money with one hand and charging tariffs on the other hand, and all of a sudden here comes a great equalization, and people are losing their minds over this. Yeah. So everything is going to be okay. Let me give you another piece of reality here, and thanks to Marichu for sending this in. Here's another piece of reality. Elon Musk only owes 12.8% of Tesla. Dear liberals, the other 87.2% is owned by companies funding your 401ks. So get off the guy's back. Otherwise, all of your retirement is going to end up getting sunk. You need to be supporting this, guys, like you wouldn't believe.
Morons.
Well,
sorry, man.
Trump derangement.
Morons next on the extra point.
Well, so the last point that I'll make is Jerry's got people in his social media network that have got Trump derangement syndrome. These are also the people that were okay with everything that went on during the COVID-19 and would not put up with anti-vaxxers and people that wanted to get inside their 6-foot radiuses from back in the day. I unfriended those guys a long time ago, so thankfully my social media feed is not full.
I've got most of them off. There's still a few hanging on. I have hope for.
There might be a little bit of necessary weeding going on in your social feeds here in the next couple of days. 7:44, Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point. We got to get into news and headlines. Donna's been waiting for this, being brought to you by Burger King with their brand new Steakhouse Bacon Whoppers with the aioli sauce, A1 steak sauce, bacon, and more. I'd have that with some of the crispy onion rings that they've got over at BK. That's the way I do that. News here also being brought to you by Auntie Lolita, Libby, Saran, and Jody. That's the team of pros they've got hooked up and lined up for you at Hoffaday Realty. It's Pika's best for the last couple of years. Find out why. If you got a real estate question like, well, you know what, maybe I'm looking for a new retail space, or maybe you're looking for someplace new to live, or maybe you want to sell something that you've already got, 588-4232 is the number. Donna D, what's going on with some big stories?
Frank Regis, charged in the 2024 murder of Ryan Chaco, is getting a new lawyer, Heather Kitigua. The trial is set to start in late April. Regis and co-defendant Ethan Mendiola confessed to their involvement in the murder. Regis also admitted to burning evidence to conceal the crime. A third suspect is facing separate charges. Meanwhile, Law Week will be observed on the last week of April this year with a joint proclamation from Guam and the CNMI. The theme is the Constitution's promise, one out of many one. Leaders Leaders highlighted the importance of understanding the Constitution, unity, and the rule of law. CNMI and Guam leaders stressed the importance of the judiciary in interpreting federal laws and protecting democracy. And Payless Community Foundation is now a Blue Star Families Outpost, expanding programs for military families on Guam. President Marie Benito says the partnership will help them better serve the community. Blue Star Families supports military members nationwide. More details on upcoming events are available at paylessfoundation.com. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
All right, thanks very much. 7:46 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. We'll take our first look at traffic here in just a sec.
Hafaday Guam, it's time to get crazy for Koku. The Koku Road Race, that is. Join in the action on Sunday, April 13th at the Ipao Beach Governor Joseph Flores Memorial Park and register now at visitguam.com for the half marathon or 4-person 5K Ekiden Relay. High schoolers, bring your A game because we've added a special Ekiden High School category. Outrun the competition and win a cash prize for your school. It's not just a run, it's a weekend of fun brought to you by the Guam Visitors Bureau.
At Guam Regional Medical City, world-class heart care is just a heartbeat away. GRMC is pleased to welcome board-certified interventional cardiologist Dr. Mahesh Gola and Dr. Bishoy El Babawi. Together, they specialize in advanced heart interventions to treat heart attacks, various heart and blood vessel conditions, arrhythmia, and more. For more information, visit grmc.gu or contact 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762.
Is it traffic? Let me see what I can find for you. It's, Friday morning, 7:47. We're in the midst of drive time. Let me just reload this so I can see what's going on and where the usual suspects and the usual tie-ups are. As usual, we got the Pow Pow into Waisang song. Nothing major on Waisang song. It's just a stupid light out there. Vince, you can fix that anytime now, buddy. That's Vince Ariola from DPW. Maybe send up some of those highway experts and find out why it always snags up there right around this time. A lot of traffic coming off of Route 3 onto Marine Corps Drive. Nothing to be done about that. Micronesia Mall intersection looking really, really good. And if you're southbound on 16 to 8, 10, and 16, just FYI, it's going to be a fairly straight shot, but by the time you get to 8, 10, and 16 this morning, you can expect delays over on the Super Happy Mart side. Both lanes on Route 8. Actually, the cleanest of this right now is the traffic that's on Route 10 trying to get to 8, 10, and 16. So expect some delays through there. 10 and 15, that intersection running clean. Ta'i is looking pretty good right now. You've got the rest of Route 4 that is in some serious shape. A little bit of traffic over in front of Cost You Less, but as you're making your way towards Ordot and all the way through the Taout Valley into
oh my God, look at all those pigs.
Sinanya, which is how it's pronounced, guys. I know it looks like there's a lot more syllables there, but Sinanya. But when you make your way through that, until you get past the gas stations up in Sinanya, it's going to expect some heavier than usual traffic. Nothing major on Route 4 as you get into the downtown Agutnia area. Marine Corps Drive looking sweet. I mean, once you get past the St. John's intersection and Kmart, it's pretty much a straight shot through East Agutnia into the downtown Agutnia area. Southbound from there, looking really, really good. Nothing major, even at Big Navy and Sumai. It's running fairly clear through there as well. 7:48, there's your right now traffic. This is The Point.
Wendy's perfect Lenten meal is back, and it's making a splash. Dive into the crispy panko fish fillet sandwich made with wild-caught Alaskan fish fillet, served crispy, golden brown, and topped with creamy dill tartar sauce, pickles, lettuce, and American cheese, all on a soft toasted bun. Or reel in the fish platter. It's the catch of the day, crispy golden fish fillet with fluffy rice and freshly chopped garden salad. Quick, simple, quality, only at Wendy's.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hafaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hafaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HAFA or email them at hafadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Challenge San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hafaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
That's the song they sing in Agutnia Heights. New Mayor, Richard Arroyo on the line right now. Buenas and off a day, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, good morning, Ray Gibson. Good morning, Donna.
Bro, I'm serious. You need to teach your band the rest of that song, just not the title "Canta Bad Boy," and sing that next time you guys. I want that to be the big song over at Deuce It when you guys are playing.
I would. Yeah. Actually, then before I was married, I guess I could say yes, but I'm not in that band anymore. Because I have to take care of the village. So.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's usually just special occasions that get me down to the Deuce It in the lobby bar for the band, and it's been the last time I was there. You were still in, but you weren't the mayor yet. So you left the gig over at Deuce It to fulfill the mayoral role.
Yes, it's my fiduciary duty to make sure Ganites is safe, and if they can give me a gate. And so Ganites unlock the gate until 12 midnight, then I can pay the gigs. But we don't have that.
You don't have that luxury. Understood. There's a great story. PDN and Dana Williams writing a story about how you've managed to capture 300 feral pigs in just the last 2 months. Amazing. What technology are you using to be able to net that many pigs?
Well, first, thank you, Ray, and the team for calling on this, and also Dana Williams for covering this. This really important issue that we've been having in the Ganites for years. So the mechanism is USDA. The mechanism is the individuals who work at that program. It's incredible. It's very sophisticated. I learned more about it and the different movements of how the trap works through an individual named Mr. Joe Ribone, who runs that actually the trapping within our village in the central part of Guam. So I believe it's from Chanampog, if I'm not mistaken, up towards Jigos, where his footprint is, which is pretty huge for one man. He's a one-man show, but he has a great team that supports him. But he's so accommodating. And when he reached out to me when I got into office, I said yes, I really know where to go. So he started giving me the what's the rules and how we can do this. So we started a few months ago, and then since then it's and rising. So I believe we caught about 90% of the pigs in the Ganites, but they keep coming over. They keep crossing the Nile rivers.
Right. They're coming in from Aston and Petey, right?
I was going to say they're coming from other places.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll talk to the other mayors about all of that. Randy Landis online saying 300 pigs and no fiesta, which was my other question. We got significant technology from the Fed, which is great. We could use that to sprinkled around the rest of the villages. But what are you doing with the pigs once you catch them?
Yeah, so unfortunately, Ray, that the pigs that are caught, USDA's job is not to catch and then see who wants them. Actually, they're feral, so they carry disease and stuff, and they can't chance anyone getting sick under this program. So they put them down and then they bring them to the landfill.
No. There's somebody out there. Go find Tom Poole. He's not doing anything right now, and see if he can do some kind of pre-mortem inspection on these guys. Make sure that they're clean, and in the very least, just go ahead and dispatch them and dress them up and give the meat to everybody with the understanding that you better cook this to about 160.
I just want the feet.
Right. I just want the ear.
I love my father-in-law's pig's feet. We love the babwi. We love the lepton. Yes, but unfortunately, we just as mayor, I just can't chance that. But no, Ray, you have a good point. And to go to that, to get to your question, we can catch. So in the beginning, I tried to catch pigs on our own from the mayor's office, and we're very limited on traps. So I said, boy, if we're gonna trap pigs, we'll be here for at least 20 years because the process is very slow. So yes, we can trap pigs. And if they want the pigs, they can trap. They can take it and raise them. You want to raise them at least a week or a month, at least about a month to raise them, and then they're ready for the barbecue and the backyard shenanigans.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. We just can't. It's a waste if you ask me, and God taught me not to waste. I get a note here from attorney Michael Phillips this morning. Says 35 years ago, Mayor Arroyo was drumming in my office with the police band called 1015. Do you remember?
Yes. I mean, actually, attorney Mike Phillips, thank you so much for the opportunity for that music. And Ray, actually, I've done a lot of events with us with 1015, and that was a horn section with Captain George and Nans. We were practically a TPD band.
Oh, wow.
So it was back then. With Monica St. Nicholas, Ray, that who sings.
I couldn't love her more. You're right. What an excellent time.
Yeah, and Fred Bradley was a keyboard player.
Bro, it's let's get the band together again. Let's go have a police party. There ain't no party like a cop party, if you ask me.
Yeah, I know.
Now the other thing is another point that you made in the article. If it's a collar from Beverly Hills, it doesn't matter. It has to have a leash on it. So you're going to be looking for loose and stray dogs up in Agana Heights as well, right?
Yes, Ray. So by law, there's a leash law, and even if there's a collar, and I kind of put some actually a joke about the Beverly Hills collar because it's true. Even if the collar is blinking at night, and no one's walking the dog, it's considered at large. And they can look it up at the law, the compilers of law. It's a leash law that was created because of the past incidents that we have has happened on Guam. So, and they're roaming at large, and we trap them, and we take them to game, and then we have 4 days to retrieve the animal, if that's what it is. But the traps must go on private property because we can't put them on government because they could be tampered with or stolen, and those are not, So Guam Animal Control and agriculture, they're very supportive of that. But we just need more traps. We have a lot of dogs, and I'm also a dog lover. We have animals, but the same note, they're biting kids and getting calls that they're biting
chasing
kids
people around the village. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Exactly.
So if you're one of those do-gooders out there, there's out there dropping off food for these wild dogs, do us a favor, grab one of them or two if you can. A better life awaits them over at Gain. Maybe they'll get spayed and neutered and then back released, or a professional at Gain will be able to determine whether these are socializable animals or not. And if they're not, then unfortunately they're going to have to get put down. But that's just the way it is. 7:57, Mayor. I'll talk to you pretty soon. You have a fantastic day, and we'll check you out in the village soon.
April 25th, 26th, 27th is our Coconut Festival. It'll be down in the mayor's office. I'll give you more information later on. Okay?
Gotcha. You're welcome anytime.
This is for Joey Cruz. It's Viva Bendis, but I think for him it was Groundhog's Day.
Could be. It's one of those. We'll talk again and hugging a kiss to mom and dad. 888-825-5882.
Does he want a second term there?
I'm just.
I'm kidding.
It's one of those things where it's so rare when, like I said, here's the thing. We started the program a little bit late, an hour late, because Joe was not in here as usual at about 5 o'clock in the morning. Actually, closer to 4:30 is when Joe makes his first appearance.
Yeah, sorry.
And so I come in and he's not here, and there's a part of me that's going, wait a second, is everything okay? I mean, this is not what because
urine test.
Completely,
urine test.
Completely out of the ordinary and unusual. 7:58, a couple of minutes left before 8 o'clock this morning, and traffic is bad up in the usual parts. We'll try to do as good a job as possible for you, keep you entertained while you're waiting for the light to change. I'm going to read out some names. These are the latest qualified entrants for the flyaway to go see Toto at the Mall of Asia Arena on May the 4th. Airplane ride from Philippine Airlines. We got exchanged with 25,000 pesos for you, and of course super VIP tickets to go and actually watch the show. So you don't have to call in 10 minutes or anything. You are already qualified if your name is Leila Duenas, Leomar Baculfo, Owen Koo, C-O-O-G-U-E, Kugui, Rafael de Guzman Mejia, M-E-J-I-A, and Camille Kimbao. That's Camille Kimbao. If these are your names, you need to come by the radio station today between 10 and 3, actually any day between 10 and 3, except the weekends, and claim your daily prize from Burger King. And then the only other thing that you got to do after that is hang out with us over at Booney's on the 19th for the grand prize drawing.
See you there.
Just make sure that your passports and if your requirements to get into the Philippines are up to date. It's you and a friend, so start thinking about who it is that you want to 99
Get a babysitter.
And Rosanna and all of that in Manila. 8 o'clock in the morning. Stand by now for Fox News Live. Pika's Best is KUSG. I got you 93.3. This is The Point. Now let's go hear everybody lament over tariffs now on Fox News.
This is a Fox News alert. It was to be expected. I'm Lisa Lacera. That's President Trump's reaction to today's sell-off on Wall Street after his decision to impose a minimum 10% tariff on imports from all U.S. trading partners.
It's a sick patient that went through an operation on Liberation Day, and it's going to be a booming country.
The president said he's open to negotiations depending on what's offered by other countries. The Dow dropped nearly 1,680 points in its biggest wipeout since 2020. The Nasdaq sank 6%. The S&P ended down almost 5%. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said again today the tariff plan spells doom for the American people.
He's walking us into the dumbest and most avoidable recession probably in history.
Schumer said the tariffs are a tax hike on Americans. The Pentagon's acting inspector general says he'll review Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's use of the Signal messaging app to convey plans for a military strike against the Houthis in Yemen. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has taken responsibility for setting up the chat. Tornadoes and heavy rain have left at least 8 people dead in the Midwest and South. Tennessee, one of the states that was hardest hit.
Some major interstates are closed due to debris. Much of the state has no power. In Nashville, emergency managers say there were multiple tornado sirens that rang out so much their batteries are dead. And Governor Bill Lee warns it's not over yet.
There's continued heavy rain expected with potential tornadoes over the next day or two.
President Trump has approved federal emergency management agency aid for all of Tennessee.
Fox's Jill Nato. The National Weather Prediction Center in Maryland says images indicate catastrophic flooding could soon occur in Tennessee, Arkansas, and Kentucky. America is listening to Fox News.
At Guam Regional Medical City, we strive to care for our patients as we would our family members. With a team of interventional cardiologists, GRMC provides advanced care treatments for heart failure and heart attacks, coronary artery diseases, atrial fibrillation, and more. Let us care for your heart, one beat at a time. To make an appointment, contact GRMC's referral office at 671-633-GRMC. That's 633-4762. Our new Steakhouse Bacon Whopper is now available. Flame grilled beef, topped with creamy peppercorn aioli sauce, fresh lettuce and tomatoes, crispy onions, A1 thick and hearty sauce, bacon, Swiss cheese on a warm sesame seed bun. Top off your Steakhouse Bacon Whopper with French fries or onion rings, or halvesies and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Available for a limited time only. BK Tumon Bay, Agutnya, Micronesia Mall and the airport. You rule.
Podcasts.com or wherever you download podcasts.
Newark, New Jersey police making several arrests in what they say is a crackdown on criminal migrants.
Officials say they have a huge problem with gang violence, and that's what this task force was all about, trying to crack down on that chaos here in Newark. Investigators say it's also part of a big push by the Trump administration to make America safe again. They went door to door here in New Jersey, trying to do everything they can to keep the area safe. The multi-agency team led by Alina Habba early yesterday morning, targeting those known criminals, arresting 3 people. According to the New York Post, a sex offender and an alleged cop assaulter were hiding under a bed. They were also nabbed. This 18-year-old, who police say is a member of the Bloods street gang, was the main target. He was handcuffed and arrested.
Fox's Alexis McAdams in Newark. It's now a crime in New Jersey to create and share deceptive media made with artificial intelligence. Governor Phil Murphy signed a bill into law this week, making the creation of so-called deep fakes punishable by up to 5 years in prison. At least 20 states have passed similar legislation. The Tampa Bay Rays need a new roof for their stadium after storm damage last year.
After the home stadium of the Tampa Bay Rays, Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, was severely damaged by Hurricane Milton last October. It forced the Major League team to scramble to find a stadium to play this season. The Rays went with Steinbrenner Field, the spring training home for the Yankees, in Tampa. Next season, though, the Rays hope to be back at the Trop. The St. Petersburg City Council voted 7-1 Thursday to allocate $22.5 million to pay for a new roof. St. Petersburg Mayor Beth Herendeen said, "By getting started when we start, it builds us the leeway and the opportunity to get it done in time." The city hopes construction on the new roof at Tropicana Field can start in June. The material of the roof will be thicker than the previous version. Once it is installed, other repairs inside the stadium can be made.
Fox's Jared Max. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Celebrating the 176-year anniversary of American President Lines, APL is a trusted partner to the U.S. government and its military. Our U.S.-flagged vessels are proud to provide ocean transportation, logistics, and critical mission support worldwide, and most especially to our local partners right here on Guam and Saipan. APL has an extensive network that connects your shipping needs to anywhere in the world. The APL Guam team is dedicated and are here to help you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com. APL, global presence with a local home.
Start the year off right with a fresh value meal for just $8 at Subway. Choose a 6-inch sub from a select menu, add a 21-ounce Coke Zero Sugar, and a bag of baked Lay's chips, all for only $8. The $8 fresh value meal is here for a limited time only at Subway. You gotta refresh to be fresh.
Smartphone Madness is on at GTA. Right now, get a free iPhone 15 Pro when you sign up for a new Live Unlimited line. Shoot stunning photos with the 48-megapixel Pro camera. Game like a boss with the A17 Pro chip and stay powered all day with incredible battery life. All on GTA's Live Unlimited network so you can stream, scroll, and snap without limits. But don't wait. This insane deal won't last. Run to GTA today and grab your free iPhone 15 Pro. Unlimited contract required. Terms and conditions apply.
Your 8 o'clock local news is brought to you by Family Finance.
Holiday, it's 8:06. I'm Donna DeJesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. Police pulled over 53-year-old John Aldan Castro for defective tail lights, but officers say they found drugs in his car. Court documents say Castro appeared fidgety and made exaggerated movements. When he stepped out of the vehicle, police saw a clear bag on the driver's seat. When asked what it was, Castro said, "Sir, please, it is only a small amount of ice." A field test confirmed it was meth. He was arrested on drug possession charges and later released on a $3,000 personal recognizance bond. Meanwhile, an 83-year-old amputee had to climb stairs for a TSA pre-check appointment at the GCIC building. The elevators have been broken since October. Debbie Sharp, a local real estate broker, filed a complaint with the U.S. Department of Justice saying the building violates the Americans with Disabilities Act. GCIC houses several government agencies, but accessibility remains a problem. Public Works says the elevators were shut down for safety reasons, but repairs are up to the building owner. Senator Chris Barnett says the issue needs urgent action. He also questioned whether the building should stay open without fixing the problem. More news after this.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that family vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,000 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña 475-4545 or Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance.
GDOE is facing a setback after U.S. Education Secretary Linda McMahon declared the deadline for using COVID-19 relief funds has passed. GDOE had over $100 million in approved ARP funds for school refurbishment projects, but a recent federal change halted their access. Superintendent Eric Swanson says the decision could complicate major projects, including refurbishing 12 public school campuses. Swanson is working with Congressman Jim Moylan and Governor Lou Leon Guerrero to appeal the decision and seek permission to continue using the funds. GDOE has already submitted over $8 million in invoices for reimbursement. And Nissan Guam is hosting its 5th annual NGen Car Show tomorrow from 5 to 9 in its Upper Tumon dealership. The event will showcase over 60 Nissans, Infiniti, and classic Datsun models. Attendees can enjoy local food trucks, a drifting exhibition, a Gran Turismo racing challenge, and a die-cast car trade show. Kids can try out the Nismo Kids racing course, and participants can win trophies in 6 categories. Although online registration is closed, interested car owners can contact Nissan for available spots. The Engine Car Show has been a yearly tradition since 2018. And those were your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
Dude, I got so many plans for Saturday, and that's definitely one of them. You got to get down there and check the thing out. If for no other reason, I think the SI Super Drive people are going to be there as well. Where are we? 8:09 in the morning. Before we move off on anything else, Nick Delgado from the KUAM newsroom is down in Agate right now reporting on a shooting in that area. Buenas and Day, Nick.
Hey, buenas, Ray. Thank you for coming on the air this morning.
No, and glad to have you online here. Breaking news. What happened?
Yeah, so here's what we have so far. This information based solely on eyewitnesses and people who live in this neighborhood. I'm located along Pagachao Drive in Hagit. This is the Guam housing, Gura housing area in the village. And what I'm seeing right now is at least one police car that's just holding the scene and blood splatter on the sidewalk in front of one of the homes here. Right before coming on the air with you, I did speak with the homeowner, and he said that he knows very little information about it, but he did hear that there was a death involved, and so that's why we're waiting for investigators to kind of confirm with us from the scene. But we did hear from multiple neighbors here that they did hear at least 2 gunshots fired around 8, 9, or 10 o'clock last night. One woman who lives in a home right across the street with her elderly mother and her children tell me that her husband was just having dinner outside when he kind of heard the commotion and the gunshots went off. Moments later, she saw that the stray bullet actually lodged into her front door, and thankfully it didn't pierce any further than the screen in that front door. And fortunately, her family is safe, but you could just imagine the frightening situation for a lot of the families around here who have very, very young children. A lot of them, the children even waking up, heading to the bus stop and seeing just the police activity in their neighborhood. A woman who lives right across the street, a lot of these neighbors still fear to even their names, and rightfully so, but she did tell me as she was with her young child at her driveway, telling me that she heard the 2 gunshots and immediately called police. This is while she was in her kitchen last night cleaning up after dinner, and decided to call the police after hearing at least 2 gunshots. Police advising her to stay indoors for her safety, and that's what she did. And now we're just waiting for the Guam Police Department to provide further details. I did arrive on scene at least half an hour ago after getting word of this shooting that happened overnight, and we saw at least 2 police cars. Now, when the scene was very active, neighbors report to me that they saw at least 7 cop cars, but a lot of people were kind of doing their own thing. It was a Thursday night. People are getting ready for the weekend. There are many families that live in this neighborhood, and so right now we're just waiting to get more details on who the victim is. Do they have a suspect in custody? And we will be sure to update you as we get it.
Wow. Breaking news this morning. Shooting last night, and absolutely crazy, as you say, down in the Gura area in Agate. Frankly, surprised the police weren't already patrolling the area. There are issues there with some of the tenants or their guests from time to time in that area, and they are not that far away from the precinct, the Agate precinct. At any rate, so I'm glad that you're keeping an eye on this. No indications that it had any kind of castle doctrine, kind of stand your ground? Was it the homeowner was not acting in kind of self-defense, uninvolved, as you say?
Uninvolved, correct, because I was just speaking with him right before I got on the air with you, and I said, I asked him, I said, do you know what happened here? No, the police are just kind of holding the scene, and they're parked right in front of his driveway. All he knows was that there was a shooting and that there was a man who was killed in this situation. So he's just as much stunned and puzzled over what happened right in front of his front door.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Can you imagine a gunfight, gunplay, and a death at the entrance to your property? Absolutely crazy and amazing. And I wonder, we're getting used to stories like this as a result of COVID. Sorry, not COVID, but crystal methamphetamine and other drug problems that we have. And sometimes I think that area in particular is ground zero for that kind of thing. We'll stay on the story. While I've got you on the line here, 8:13 in the morning. Let me ask you your thoughts and KUAM's coverage of a couple of other interesting stories that are floating around, including the dust-up over at the legislature the other night. Chris Barnett asking some very, very pointed questions of Roy Respicio on activities that are taking place on port property by port employees with alcohol. Some interesting allegations flying around.
Right. And, all of this had pretty much surfaced after our reports had and continue to go out over the workplace violence incident that authorities have yet to release any details about the investigation. All of it was source information that you and I have been discussing over the past couple of weeks. But all we were able to confirm with regard to the investigation is that now it's in the Attorney General's hands, and he has to consider whether or not to bring it before a grand jury for a true bill or indictment.
Well, it's still in all. I mean, it's a couple of weeks later. I think both of the statements from Rory and Francisco are adequate enough to be able to present before a grand jury to find out what the course needs to be, what the next steps need to be taken are.
No doubt, there was an incident that happened there. No one's denying that, and it did get violent. But because it does, like Adelup was saying, first off, it was a personnel matter. That's true. But I mean,
that was just them using the 10-foot pole. It's not us.
Correct.
Yeah, and never mind. Josh Tenorio has got nothing to do with this. We will support it. We're against workplace violence. I think you interviewed the governor, and her comments were kind of I thought kind of ambiguous. Yeah. And we're not going to get in front of anything here. And workplace violence, we're against that. Sexual harassment, we're against that. Okay, clean air, we like that. And I thought, well, that's not much of an answer, not much to go on there.
All right. And so now it's a matter of just keeping on top of where the Attorney General is at with his investigators.
So the other big story, and we didn't get a chance to spend as much time on this yesterday as I thought we would, and unfortunate, but I'm being told that there is a lot of hair on fire over at the legislature over concerns with the Department of Education losing their grip on, what is it, $27 million worth of federal money?
Yeah, and you imagine being the government of Guam's largest agency, that they should have a better handle on something like that, right? And so now it's just that's a matter for the Department of Education leaders, for the Guam Education Board to really find out why this even happened to begin with.
Well, we need the money. I mean, that's the thing. I'm getting the feeling that like there's a bunch of people that are going, "Aw, shucks, sorry," and I'm in my mind, I'm thinking somebody needs to get fired. Same thing over at the hospital when they lost track of $10 million. There's need for it, and I just don't understand why it's kind of cavalier that we've lost our grip on several $1 million that the taxpayers of Guam are going to be on holding the tab for.
Yeah, it is interesting, especially when it deals with the Department of Education, for one. Secondly, federal monies, right? Federal dollars. Since the Trump administration has taken office, that's kind of been the discussion, the talk. How can we continue to receive federal dollars? Are we at risk of losing any federal money?
And so there's the money that we had. And we weren't able to do anything with. People got to get fired for this. 8:17 in the morning, and I'm going to ask you this question real quick. So how is, I know what my reason for missing the trip are, but why are you still on Guam? Why didn't you go on the Taiwan trip with the rest of everybody over at GVB and the other media people? How come you're still here?
Someone's got to report the news on the ground, Ray, and that's going to be your boy. That'll be me.
All right. Well,
we'll go on the next one. Make sure, okay?
Yeah, I had some unbreakable dates, so I couldn't move to go on that trip. But otherwise, and I'm thinking, man, that would have been crazy fun. Me and you and some stinky tofu in Taiwan. That would have been awesome. Right? We'll get the next one.
That was my priority too. The stinky tofu.
We'll work on that. All right, Nick Delgado from KUAM. Always a pleasure talking with you. Appreciate the partnership and the alliance, and we'll be looking forward to more news. If I say this right, as the KUAM News follows this program on KUAM TV.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, buddy.
Weekend.
I will have a great weekend. That's the idea. 8:18 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Donna D with news and headlines right around the corner. Lots of stuff going on here this morning. And I guess they had a meeting over at the Mayor's Council. Ladies and gentlemen, Pica's best mayor. It's Mayor Jess Allig, as in Ada Allig 2026.
You have got some people riled up, Mr. Gibson.
Who's riled up? What?
Too many people. It's quite interesting. It's actually quite amusing.
well, that's part of the job here, is when there's no news to try to be as amusing and insightful as possible, to allay any of the conversation about Ada Allig. Is it maybe Ada Moylan? I have what might be the second picture of Senator Tony Ada with former Lieutenant Governor Kaleo Moylan. They were both at a Nissan event the other night. And it wasn't that long ago that the community was treated to a picture of Eddie and Felix and Tony and Kaleo and Joada. So I'm just wondering if it almost looks like they're wearing matching shirts too in this picture. So it's possible that there could be a Republican alliance to take on Josh Tenorio and Cousin Troy.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure Troy would love that.
Yeah, no, I just argue that it was an April Fool's thing, but it's still LOL, man. 8:19 in the morning.
But hey, you know what? I know you want to talk about something else, but can I just finish the story that Nick said? I mean, or was reporting about. But I mean, that's my point. about this drug epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really sorry that a family lost a member today or last night, and I'm really sorry for everyone that's affected there. And that's my point, is we don't treat, and we don't know what the issue was, right? But can we assume that it was ICE? For sure. For sure. And where in this entire island of Guam are we not seeing that ICE is a problem, and we should call the National Guard. We should call anyone else who can help us solve this problem, because everyone is affected. And if this one death is associated in any way with ICE, man, I don't know what else. The people who have the money, the people who have the power to make this change work, I don't know where they're at. And I'm supportive of social workers. I'm supportive of the programs. But when it does come down to the people, and it doesn't go to Pagotao and to Finili and to Assumption Drive in PT and to MTM, it doesn't work. And it's apparent that those programs are not coming to these homes. They're not coming to my neighbor. It's not. The message is not coming to the village streets, because parents, children, manamko. So I wrote an opinion piece last month.
I've reread it.
I'm going to tell you, after that, I gauge a lot of what I write. I mean, I gauge when different people comment. And you know how many manamko reached out to me after that? Too many. And you know what that mate told me? Those manamko, even though they're not going to tell me that they're affected, they probably are. You know why? Because it's still our culture to be quiet about it. And their grandchildren or their children probably borrowing money, probably stealing from them. And that's the part that really frustrates me, is we're seeing it as mayors, but is anyone else seeing it? Are the people that are getting paid, the people that are receiving the grant money, all the beautiful training and the beautiful trips to America, to the mainland, but then you come back home and we don't get anything for the people that are suffering? The victims? Who are the real victims? Are the victims the Maramco that called me after that article? Are the victims the druggies that cannot get the help? And I agree, let's incarcerate them, sure. But if all of Guam's going to be incarcerated?
Starting to feel like that.
That's how many people are affected. That's how many people are on drugs. Almost everybody.
Starting to feel like that, isn't it? Like everybody is on it. You know, I pass by people while I'm walking and jogging and whatever. You know, you see these grown men on little kid bikes, you know, in the village. And you know what's going on. You know, everybody knows what's happening. You see these guys that are just kind of twitching and talking to themselves, and you know that they're high on ice, and there's nobody seemingly that's doing anything about it. The cops arrest these guys. Donna D with a couple of stories this morning about guys. They're so cavalier about it. Do you have anything in the vehicle? Oh, just ice. It's only ice, officer. I like the one guy. Oh, did only a little bit. It's only a little bit ice, officer. I'm sorry. And because they know that they're going to get taken in, they're going to get in the handcuffs, and there's going to be fingerprints, and they're going to be put in the pokey for a little bit, but they're going to be out the next day, 2 days, and they go out and then break into somebody else's car, or, you know, bump into, you know, knock in a window somebody at somewhere's house. I don't know. I often wonder sometimes that our political representatives here have got tint that prevents them from looking outside. You know how you got tint, you can't see inside the car? They got tint that prevents them from being able to see outside at the devastation, the loss, and the backwards direction that Guam seems to have been in for a long time. I'm not going to lay this at Lulian Guerrero's feet only, but we've been moving in this direction for a long, long time. And I think there are people that are going, you know what? Here's the future for Guam. It's going to be the military, GovGuam employees, and ICE addicts. And they don't want to be a part of that future, and they're filing Chapter 777 and moving to Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly yeah. And so what am I going to do? Well, I still want to find out what's out there for my people. What's out there, and it's not just everyone's talking about the children in the schools. No, it's so far beyond them. It's the parents. parents, it's the grandparents, it's just everybody.
Well, I'm wondering, in your village, how many grandparents are raising their grandkids because mom and or dad are in jail?
Oh, for sure. Oh, my gosh. Yes. I mean, I don't want to talk about specific stories because, it's just private. But, yeah, it's just crazy. And how many extended family members are even adopting children of ICE addicts, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I don't know what else to do. And the reason why I'm talking about it is because there are people that know what to do, because there are people that are trained. And we hear about all the wonderful training. We hear about all the proclamations that they're giving out. So at the proclamation signing, I wish I knew, because I would go there and ask all those people that are being lauded, son of a gun, what did you learn? And let me know what you learned, PT, because we have in PT in this small village, which is it's so frustrating.
Well, I can't.
Because when I came in as mayor in 2017, I didn't realize I realized we had a problem, but I didn't realize the amount. I mean, if I always say every household has a problem, because it is true. And I really am with them, because I'm not, and like I said, even in judiciary, the judges are coming to us and saying, mayors, you guys can help us. What?
How?
Exactly. Even the judiciary wants us to help. I'm willing to help. I want to help. But you need to give us the tools, because we did not go to all the training before we were elected. And that's, anyway, we better stop.
No. It's we generally don't do frowny faces on Friday, but I think everybody's gonna, we just hearing that story as you say from Nick Delgado, covering a shooting and a death apparently in Agate in the Pagazao area, and you don't need too much more of a description. The folks from that part of town know exactly what goes on down there, and it doesn't seem to ever find a way to stop. More work needs to get done from all of these people that, go on these fancy trips, and they got all that fancy grant money, and they have pens with the logo from the grant, and they got T-shirts and whatever. But where's the?
That's the worst. I just received again desk calendar. Who the heck needs a desk calendar? Don't you have a phone? Oh my gosh! I mean, it's beautiful, beautiful desk calendars, beautiful books and stationary books. You don't need that. You have notes on your phone. And like you said, pens. We can't even afford those. Oh my God!
But and I wonder, is like all these people, 12,000 people in the government of Guam, and we still have graffiti everywhere. We've still got road problems, hospital problems, school problems, and everybody patting themselves on the back for job well done. Here's your 22% raise, but things are going backwards, not forwards around here. Hospitality industry is in the toilet, and nobody seems to be paying any attention to that except me and Mark Baldiga.
Yeah. Oh, no, we are. We're hoping they're going to help us.
To the degree. Doctor, I keep calling him Dr. Ho from Cortec is looking at his editorial or news article this morning about him saying that we need to spread hospitality towards all of the villages, which is a great idea. It's something that we've been talking about and have done for a long time. Frank Blas Jr. talking about resurrecting the Hafa-Day program at GVB, and then even going back as far as Bird and Pinko's wave, welcome all visitors enthusiastically. All of that, all of the very, very important stuff. But what's the point if our destination is lousy? It's trash all over the place in Tumon. We got homeless and vagrants rolling around down there. We got encampments in the boondocks down in Tumon. And I'm wondering, am I the only one that sees it? Are you the only one that sees it?
I think so. I mean, there was a listener, one of your listeners, who saw me on the road, and I don't know him, and he came up to me and he says, "Mayor, can I send you these pictures?" And I thought, hi, good morning. And he says, oh, I hear you on the radio. And they, oh, okay, great. And he says, Ray points these out. And you know what? But I want to point these things out, too, because we're all seeing that. I told him, I said, you know what? I've been there. I know what you're talking about. Thank you. I appreciate it. And so, you're right. I mean, if everyone else is seeing it, gosh.
But where are the? I'll use this phrase because it makes them feel good and all puffy. But where's the rest of our elected leaders? Where are they out there? Do they not see the graffiti? Virtually every poll in from Dededo down to your village has got somebody's name scrawled on it with graffiti paint. Your bus stops?
Ray, the bus stop. That's the thing. Remember when somebody was making a big deal about who's supposed to take care of the bus stop? So, okay, if it's the mayor's job, no problem. But you go all the way back to statute, you can find out who's in charge of these bus stops.
Mm-hmm.
Mayors, we do what we can to take care of it. Well, there's a bus stop out on Range Road Drive in PD that's been hit by an car accident over 2 years ago, and it requires the estimated amount is $8,000 to fix that. When it's time for beautification and volunteers and the newspaper, everybody's in charge.
Right.
And so I call the same people that are in charge to say, hey, you guys want to manage this for us because you guys tell us, hey, we have to go through your office, fix that, please, because here are the pictures. It's unsafe for the children. Over 1 year, and it's still that way. So I'm working on a sponsor to fix it because I don't even have the budget to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'll do what I need to do. But you see, it's just at their pleasure. And who cares about those people that live in that one road that's gonna use the bus stop that's gonna hurt their children?
Every village has one. Every village has one, except my village. MTM is good. Paco does a really, really good job. We got trash cans at the things, and graffiti doesn't stay up for very, very long. A note from a listener, from around your village says, we do not have leaders on Guam. Jess, we got appreciate your time. We were going to talk about the carnival and no tranny beauty queens and all of that stuff, but I think we'll save that for Monday when you're in a better mood.
Have a good weekend.
Maybe I'll come by and lurk in the backyard. We'll have a couple of drinks.
Okay, sounds good.
That's the 888-8255, 888-TALK. Mayor Jess Allig on the line with a dose.
Was he a little moody?
Oh, my God. There's a dose of truth here. Now, it's based on this picture that if you're watching online, if you're watching on the visuals, people on KUAM, you'll get another story about this with Nick Delgado a little bit later on, updated. But there are blood stains in the streets. Not in the streets. It's on the sidewalk. It's on the curtilage.
Yeah, where kids play.
Exactly. It's on the curtilage. Police are on the scene right now, a shooting down in Agate. What are the chances that it was not involved with crystal methamphetamine and ice? And unfortunately, this area, as the crow flies, is not that far away from the port, where there's a lot of questions being asked about violence. We've got people getting drunk on port property, port employees getting drunk on port property, allegedly, that got into some kind of a dust-up down there.
Ray?
This is in Agate.
In Pagachao?
Yeah.
Isn't that where your phone ended up?
Yeah.
When it got stolen?
When it got stolen a couple of years ago. Yep.
Shout out Pagachao.
That's where it was, man. We had a dragnet, man. My buddies over at the police department said, "Come on down here." Went down there, and took a look at the house where the last ping from the phone came from. Then the cops went in there and took a look at the house. Didn't find my phone or my backpack or anything like that. But they found other stuff.
It was already chopped up.
There was other probable cause when they got there. And we had the mayor of Agate on the phone last week, Kevin, and we were talking about some issues they've got across the street from there over at the park. with guys that are hanging out and drinking. He knew who we were talking about. I mentioned the thugs that live in the Gura down there, and I don't know what's happened. It used to be back in the day, they'd keep an eye out for that, and anybody that was caught doing anything wrong, like smoking in the buildings, would get kicked out. I don't know. Multiple sadness. We'll watch and see. Jose says that's both hilarious and sad. Absolutely, the Gov Guam likes to pass off tasks to the mayors that are already inherent in specific agencies, but, hey, procurement, hey, we don't have the resources. Yeah, whatever. 8:34 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. We got to take our last look at news and headlines a little bit later on. Got a couple of guys on the phone from the Guam Power Authority and Energy Sense talking about a power symposium that is going to be taking place on the 7th and 8th over at the Hyatt Regency. Kind of a big deal in that there's a whole lot of people from all kinds of places to talk about upgrades to the system and a whole lot more. So we'll get our hands on that and after news and headlines with Donna D, which comes up after these.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and urgent care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to takecareasia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
It's the Ray Gibson Show, being brought to you by the guys over at APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And keep your radio on and stay near a phone because you're going to need both of them in order to win some more food from our friends over at Mescla. Yeah, downtown Agana. Tony Spot, great food, awesome prices, but you don't even have to worry about that because I got a $50 gift certificate for you. It's on the way right here on The Point. I remember last year I did a phone interview with the guys from GPA on a power symposium, and similar to last year, I won't know what the hell they're talking about. Some of the topics, like at day one, the folks from the Pacific Northwest National Laboratories will have a presentation on OTEC and SWAC. Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion and Seawater Air Conditioning. That's what the SWAC stands for. SWAC. There's a presentation on virtual power plants, grid forming inverters, SCADA, but not apparently the old SCADA. There's a conversation about a new SCADA and more. So maybe journeyman and beyond are going to be a part of this program. But we'll find out if there's anything in there that we might have the potential for bringing down prices and giving us a lot more reliability in future. 8:37 though. Time for Donna D and a quick look at what's happening in news and headlines. What's going on?
A shooting took place in Agate's Gura housing area around 9 or 10 o'clock last night. KOAM's Nick Delgado breaking the story on The Point this morning. Police are holding the scene and blood spatter was found outside the location. Witnesses heard commotion and multiple gunshots. Police have yet to confirm a death or identify any suspects. Meanwhile, 16 students graduated from GCC's Ship Repair Boot Camp funded by the Metallica Scholars Initiative. They received training in blueprint reading, marine diesel, and certifications. All graduates were offered jobs with local companies, including Cabris Marine, Guam Shipyard, and Seafix. One graduate says the program helped her transition to a better career. And GTA launched its new streaming platform, GTA TV, offering a more accessible way to enjoy live TV. Customers can stream on TVs, smartphones, or tablets with options for HD content, cloud DVR, and up to 110 channels. GTA TV also includes a mobile app and features for pausing or restarting live TV shows. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Are we on there? We're on there, right?
We're on there.
Well, if
Are
we're
we?
on KUAM, then
Oh,
we're on
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Love
So
that.
that's the way that works. And appreciate Nick Delgado chiming in this morning. A note here, because it's interesting to me, because we weren't really sure what the hell was going on Monday last when there wasn't any traffic, and we all thought, oh, it's spring break for the kids. Not for all of the kids. Apparently, the Department of Education is going to be having their spring break starting, when is that? Did you get that? The 14th, yeah. 14th is when that's going to be.
Oh, yeah, because Easter's late this year.
There goes our life.
I know it. But wait a second. I'm getting this here. We are experiencing a water outage that is non-GWA related at Harry S. Truman Elementary School. So there is no school for Harry S. Truman Elementary School because they've got some kind of a water issue.
I won't say it, Ray.
Facilities
I promise.
and maintenance crews are working to fix this break in the water line. May I, again, suggest to the Department of Education, although I don't know how the hell they're going to pay for it now because they've let slip $26 million in federal money.
Bummer, man.
You could have used some of that money to buy backup water tanks for every school on Guam, even the private schools, because education is a responsibility of the government. Could have bought everybody some water tanks so we can get hand washing and toilet flushing and use that to make ice or whatever it is. Sprinkle it on your forehead when it's hot. I don't know what you're going to do with the water, but there you go. All right, we got to get through this pretty quick because I got calls coming in. Celebrity birthdays include, and I haven't had a chance to take a look at this yet, Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, I know him.
He's in Lord of the Rings. That's why I started with him. He's in Lord of the Rings.
Elrond.
And Matrix.
Yeah.
Let me see. Graham Norton. Talk shows.
Wait, how old is he?
Hugo Weaving is 65.
Oh.
Looks older.
He does.
He looks older than that. He's the guy.
He's thousands of years old.
Yeah, he's the elf guy with the
super receding
eyebrows.
hairline.
Yeah, receding, super worse than mine.
It was supposed to be
receding hairline, and he's got these eyebrows that swing all the way up.
Angry eyebrows.
Always angry. Robert Downey Jr.
Also
60 years old today.
Oh, I love him.
You know what?
I love Tony Stark.
Do you remember the Robert Downey Jr. that used to have a gap in his teeth?
He had a gap in his teeth.
Are you old enough? Are you old enough?
He was in Weird Science. He was the bully. Yeah.
That was him?
That was
oh my God, I loved that movie.
He was one of the bullies in Weird Science, and you don't recognize him because he had a gap in his teeth here. David Blaine, the magician, is 52 years old.
Oh, he's so young.
Yep. And Jamie Lynn Spears,
I remember her.
who's famous for being Britney Spears' sane sister. She's 34 years old.
Oh.
She was in her own TV show, wasn't she? In Disney back in the day?
Yeah.
It's Hug a News Person Day.
There we go. Everybody stand back from Donna.
Okay,
none of that
I'm not
smoke.
Well, I'm wondering if anybody had any thoughts in their random thoughts when I was.
They dropped donuts for her.
I saw that. Donna asked for JW brought donuts for you.
Thank you, JW.
Michael Moriarty tomorrow is celebrating 84 years. You remember him from Ben Stone on Law and Order. And let me see, Max Gale from Barney Miller, 82 years old. Pharrell is 52.
Pharrell.
52?
Yep, Haley Atwell from Agent Carter on the Marvel shows is celebrating. She's
Captain America's chick.
Right, 43 years old today. It's Bell Bottoms Day tomorrow. Walk to Work Day.
No.
On Saturday. Why not? Student Government Day. No, thank you. Caramel Day. You know you can make that at your house.
Yeah. But you might burn it, so never mind.
It's Deep Dish Pizza Day.
Yummy.
Tomorrow. Again, Sister Roberta, Cathedral Grade School. Billy D. Williams on Sunday celebrates 88 years old on Sunday. Let me see. Marilu Henner from Taxi is 73. Wow, super old. Paul Rudd from Ant-Man.
I love him.
56 years old.
He's great. He never gets old.
When he was a comedian back in the day?
Yeah.
And now he's in the Marvel Universe. Candace Bure from Fuller House is 49. And let me see. I'm looking to see is there anybody else? Oh, my God. I'm so in love with Peyton List from Cobra Kai.
Who's that?
She's the pretty one.
Oh my God.
What does she do?
She's the
secretary?
No, she's the. I don't want to say this. She's one of the hotties, and it's amazing because she plays a high school kid, 27 years old. But anyway, so yeah, Peyton from Cobra Kai is 27 years old today, and she's. Well, I'm going to say things, but it's inappropriate, so I'm going to leave it in my head. Let me see. Army Day on Sunday. You go Army all the way. International Firework Day, International Pillow Fight Day, Acai Bowl Day on Sunday, DIY Day, Every day is DIY day if you're a homeowner on Guam. Siamese Cat Day on Sunday. I've loved Siamese in my life.
Now.
Ask Mana about Coco the Wonder Cat. It's Twinkie Day, Teflon Day, and World Table Tennis Day, a.k.a. Ping Pong. So get your ping pong on.
The pong.
How come they don't want to call
With
it
your
ping
ding dong
pong?
and king with in Hong Kong is the way the old rhyme works. Donna, thanks for the time. We'll talk to you soon. Jose Martinez says Jamie Lynn Spears had her own show when she was a teen, then got pregnant. Yeah, I've got lots more useless trivia that I never know. Yeah, neither one of us involved. Thank you very much. 8:44 in the morning. Are these my GPA guys?
John Cruz on line 1 and Joyce Sayama on line 2 with another couple of people.
All right, got you. Well, everybody's online and conference now. Buenas and afide to my GPA familia. Buenas, how you doing?
Buenas, Ray. Hi. Good morning.
Dude, we're all conference at the same time. It's like a Zoom call, but I can't see. Well, whoever's now it's all right. We'll get past all of the awkward moments here, and one of you is going to decide amongst yourself who's going to be doing the majority of the speaking on the Power Symposium that is coming up here in just a few days, starting April 7th and 8th over at the Hyatt Regency Guam. And I admitted to the listeners just a few minutes ago, as I was reviewing the agenda for the get together, that I don't know any of this stuff that you're going to be talking about, and it's embarrassing because I like to think of myself as kind of a techie, kind of a nerd geek kind of thing where it comes to technology, and we're talking about some groundbreaking new stuff that you guys are going to be talking about. First thing on the 7th at 9:40, OTEC, and what is SWAC, seawater air conditioning? Can we start with that?
Yes, absolutely. John Cruz is on the other line, so I'll go ahead and get him. He's the assistant GM for engineering and technical services, and he's actually the brainchild behind the last 2 years of this conference, and this will be the third year that we're having this symposium. And by the way, Ray, I did invite the media. The media did get the media invite to come and attend and cover the symposium, or be like our late friend Bob, who actually attended the first year. The judge that came in, and he actually sat in and he actually talked to John Cruz and was really delighted to know that we were moving forward with this conference and things that GPA is doing now and into the future. So I'll have John go ahead and talk about Dr. Andrea Coping from PNNL, Pacific National, Northwest Pacific National Laboratory. She's here, and she'll be discussing, yes, you're absolutely right, the ocean thermal energy conversion and the seawater air conditioning.
Well, yeah, let's get started on that. Hey, John, welcome back to the program. I thought OTEC was dead. I thought it was one of those things where it's interesting technology, but maybe a little bit beyond our reach. I didn't think that we were going to be paying much attention to all of that. What is there a new plan? Have there been strides made in ocean thermal?
Oh,
Buenas. John, are you there?
Yeah, give him a moment. He just walked into our conference room.
No problem.
He was on the phone, Ray, so now he's here.
I gotcha.
Turn off your phone.
yeah. I did. Yeah, so OTEC's been here forever, since the 70s, right? And it's fairly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It is feasible, but it's very, very expensive, and it's not always feasible at every single location.
I was going to say, like I said, for whatever reason, it always felt like it was kind of out of reach for us. So it's interesting that it's among the very first topics that are going to be coming up. As I asked, are there great strides that have been made in ocean thermal, bringing Guam a little bit closer to being able to take advantage of the difference in the temperatures of the water, the deep waters, and what we've got on the surface?
Yeah, that better materials, better processes to get things done. But Dr. Andrea Copping was really gung-ho on our seawater air conditioning study that we did back in 2005. In that study, we had the best economics in the world for seawater air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate that we couldn't get it past our coastal management buddies, right? and so we had to drop that. But the thing about having that seawater air conditioning and OTEC is not so much in terms of power, right, but in terms of the opportunity to do mariculture. And at the Nelha in Hawaii, where they have a small OTEC plant, they take that deep sea water and they use that cold water to raise cold water lobsters, abalone, you name it, right? So that's been a very profitable business for Hawaii to have that there. They even do they even bottle it and sell it in Asia as a water untouched by human hands for the last 5,000, 10,000 years.
That's amazing. But after some kind of desalinization, though, right?
The what?
Desalinization? You got to take the salt water, the salt out of it, right?
Yeah, I think they just drink it, but they're like 200,000 bottles.
That's interesting. Let's move on from there. Limited amount of time that we've got, and talk about one of the other interesting panels that you're going to be talking about: virtual power plants, solar virtual power plants. What is that? Some kind of digital twin version of what we've got out there in Gigo?
No, it's really about collectively aggregating rooftop solar and making it act like one single power plant. And the way GPA is going to do this is that the Guam Energy Office has gotten a grant for Solar for All. It's partially, they're going to take some of that money and then they're going to have direct loans to low-income customers.
Ooh. Right,
to put solar and batteries on their rooftops, right? It's got certain requirements for payback, right?
Okay.
But a large chunk of that money will be going into what GPA's community solar type project, right? And remember, GPA, whatever solar that we put up is automatically community solar because we're really a part of this community, and anything we do, we sell to everybody, right?
As it should be.
And then we're going to take that Solar for All money and we're going to use it to subsidize putting solar PV on school rooftops, right? So half the money, half the capacity and energy that comes out of there, half the money and the capacity that we put on top of the school rooftop has to go to low-income customers on Guam. The Guam Energy Office will be onboarding those customers, and we will take their accounts, and then we will credit them according to this Solar for All program.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't necessarily need to go on somebody's rooftop. We're going to we'll instead of putting it on top of my house, if I'm low income guy, you'll put it on top of San Miguel School, and then I get a credit based on that.
That's correct.
Oh, that's interesting. Correct. Well, I'm a fan of a little bit of a fan of distributed generation, and if we can do something like that, that'll help out a lot of families. Then there's other stuff you're talking about, grid forming inverters. Now, I'm familiar with grid tie inverters. What's the grid forming inverter supposed to do?
Okay, so there's grid forming inverters versus the grid following inverters. The grid following inverters have to have the power grid up in order for them to run. They synchronize on the power grid's frequency and voltage. Without that signal, they don't operate, right? Grid forming inverters can actually form their own voltage and frequency signal. So you can form them as microgrids, right? But when they're running in grid forming mode alongside the power grid, they can actually help stabilize voltage, right? And that's an issue. As we put in more inverter-based resources like solar PV, like batteries, all of those things use inverters. As you put more and more of those on the system and have less and less synchronous generators, our regular generators,
right,
the grid becomes more and more unstable.
So these grid forming inverters will be talking to each other and then talking back to the grid, so that the regular grid can either respond to or anticipate changes in the grid that has been formed by these other inverters.
They will help collectively, and we're going to marry the grid, all of the inverters, all of the batteries, under what we call an autonomous AI, artificial intelligence-based grid controller, and that will help us out because the speed of change on our network, right? One of the hallmarks of a system that is relatively becoming more and more unstable, right, is that the changes in frequency and voltage happen faster. And a lot of these issues that come up, like the recent blackout in Kauai, they evolve so very quickly that the dispatchers don't even know that they have an issue, and then they find themselves in the dark.
Yeah. And that's just the nature of it. I mean, when you've got all that distributed generation, you got to figure out how to get everything in sync together. So I'm glad that we've got the technology that moves in that direction. What's going to be very interesting, and if you're somebody in the media, if your news director doesn't tell you, I will tell you, you need to be there right after lunch on April the 8th, because that's when they're going to be talking about the nuclear power landscape, and something that many of my listeners are interested in hearing about. In fact, a couple have already chimed in and said, ask them about nuclear, ask them about nuclear. Notwithstanding any legislation that would have prohibited nuclear, being able to take advantage of nuclear energy here on Guam on our side of the fence, tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the landscape for nuke.
Well, if you take a look at that's a PNNL giving a talk on that. Last year we had someone all the way from Finland actually talk about the European experience with small modular reactors. Well, small modular reactors are a technology that's in development, and for most of these technologies, they don't have the thermal runaway issues that are Fukushima, in other words.
And they make movies about,
Yeah, so they're more stable in terms of that. They're of the size that use it at our grid. There's a lot of heat in terms of large data centers in the States thinking about nuclear for their energy needs. I think one recent data center actually bought some energy and have a contract with 3 Mile Island.
Yeah, I believe that's Microsoft that did that. Bob Kelly, our technology guru, has been talking about that for some time now because of the requirements that these data centers need, and you can't use the regular grid for it because the needs of these data centers outstrip the capabilities of the utilities in those areas. So they've recommissioning 3 Mile Island to be able to do that. I think that will be the only customer that 3 Mile Island has. And you're right. There's sustainability in there. There's the modular designs, and we ought to be able to find a way to be able to fit nuclear energy here on Guam.
Yeah, we've been talking to developers of the small modular reactors since like 2014. Right, with new scale people, and one of our consultants is actually working with several other developers of small modular reactors.
Can you buy it yet? I mean, is anybody actually selling these modular nuclear power devices?
If you take a look at our integrated resource plan, it says, GPA should look at small modular reactors as a candidate unit for generation expansion after 2030. So a lot of them are still in development, right? And even the military is developing it. I poked the bear because a friend of mine told me that the Biden administration was having a phone call on SMRs, and I wrote a letter and said, hey, what is your posture with nuclear small modular reactors in Guam? And like a few weeks after that, I got an email from a major saying, we'd like to introduce you to the Pele program, which is their small modular reactor.
Talk about the workshop.
Yep. I'm sorry. I'm hearing in the background, Joyce says there's a workshop going on as well?
Yes.
The two days of workshops. The first day on Wednesday is dedicated. GPA is one of the few utilities in the smart grid program that actually kept its cybersecurity plan in effect and in force and updated it every year. Most of them, after the performance period, they let it die, right? But we've been very concerned about cybersecurity. We see the Chinese, the North Koreans, and the Russians try to get into our networks every single day.
Yeah, well, no major surprises there. Volt Typhoon, even through the claims that they have been brought down, I still don't believe it, and it doesn't make any difference because the Chinese government's going to be doing that for every utility, every business between here and there. I wish I had more time, guys. We'll talk again soon about, and I'll plug this as it gets to be next week. For those of you that have got the invite, I'm jealous. I'm in media. I might swing by. Power Symposium at the Hyatt, April 7th and 8th. I appreciate your time. Have a great week.
Thank you, Ray. And we just want to redirect those folks or anyone interested. We're at our website is GuamPowerAuthority.com.
Got it.
/Energy Sense, and that's where you can find all of the information the last 2 years, and then again this year for the symposium. And we're UOGs also will be having it virtually online through the UOG link. So if you go to the UOG Sustainable Conference link, you'll be able to, everything is on Facebook Live.
Joyce
so
Ayama,
thank you, Ray, for your
not a problem.
time.
Always appreciate your time. Keep the power on. I'll talk to you soon. It's time for Fox News. This is The Point.
Already, we have many plans.
Financial markets saw their biggest single-day losses since 2020. The president and other administration officials insist it will be just a short-term disruption.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. President Trump says he's fired some officials at the National Security Council a day after far-right political activist Lara Loomer raised concerns to him about staff loyalty. The president said he listened to her recommendations and made his own decision. 19 states have sued the Trump administration over the president's executive order on elections. The president says he believes Russian President Vladimir Putin wants to reach a deal to end the war in Ukraine, and that Ukraine's leader wants a deal too. Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev tells Fox's Brett Baer the Trump administration has made tremendous progress.
There was no dialogue with Russia in Biden administration for the last 3 years. There was no trying to understand Russian position. There was no really solutions that could have been successful. And what President Trump team has done, they understood what the solution space may be, and they achieved the first de-escalation ever in the conflict.
Dmitriev says negotiators have also talked about cooperation in rare metals production and the Arctic. America is listening to Fox News.
Craving delicious dishes with local flavors? Look no further than Mezcla Bistro. From our juicy burgers to flavorful seafood and local fusion, every dish is made with love and the freshest ingredients. Join us for an unforgettable lunch, dinner, or decadent Sunday brunch. Visit us online at mezclaguam.com or call 671-479-2652 or 671-489-2653 to make a reservation. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro, a true taste of Guam.
Looking for the best way to save and stay connected? IT&E's Smart Saver Kit has you covered. Get a free Samsung A16 with unlimited social media for just $35 a month. That's right, you heard it. Stay connected, scroll, like, and share without limits. With the Samsung A16, you'll have a sleek, high-quality phone that fits right in your hand and your budget. For more details, visit any of our stores or chat online at ite.net. Thank you for choosing IT&E to connect you to who and what matters the most.
The number of people who died in the devastating Los Angeles wildfires has risen to 30.
The medical examiner's office said that human remains were discovered Wednesday on a scorched property in Altadena, one of the Eaton fire burn areas. The number of people killed in that fire is now 18, while 12 people perished in the Palisades fire. The wildfire started on January 7th, taking out 17,000 structures, including homes, schools, and businesses. Investigations are underway into the causes of the fires. SoCal Edison Utility Equipment is suspected of igniting the Eaton fire. Its parent company's president, Pedro Pizarro, promises full transparency with the public. Laura Cantor, Fox News.
The family of one of the men killed at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta last summer is suing Delta Airlines.
He died on the job. Now his family wants Delta to pay. Luis Alderondo was killed in August of last year when a tire undergoing maintenance exploded. Lawsuit claims Delta failed to protect workers from known struck-by hazards when they service pressurized multi-piece aircraft rims, and that includes not requiring proper safety devices such as hydraulic clamps or cages. The claim points to a probe by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration that determined Delta's actions or inactions contributed to Alderondo's death. A Delta spokesperson says the company launched a thorough investigation and has already implemented corrective actions that are consistent with those provided by OSHA. CJ Papa, Fox News.
NASA's Webb telescope has captured pictures of the asteroid that caused a stir earlier this year when it was predicted at one point to have a 3% chance of hitting the Earth in 2032. But additional observations prompted scientists to reduce that threat to virtually zero. NASA and the European Space Agency say Webb has confirmed the asteroid is 200 feet across, or about the height of a 15-story building. I'm Lee Silasera. This is Fox News.
What if your iPad or smartphone contained information that could, for some reason, come back to haunt you, maybe even get you in trouble with a loved one or even the law? Just how does one get rid of the evidence? I'm Kim Commando for NetSuite. Download the free CFO's Guide to Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning right now at netsuite.com/Kim. So how do you get rid of the evidence on an iPad or a smartphone? In London, Scotland Yard just solved a 6-year investigation of an organized crime ring after they recovered an iPad that was submerged at the bottom of the Thames River for 5 years. People have been sentenced to prison. Water, even salt water, does not corrupt the data stored in iPads and smartphones until it completely dissolves, which takes so many years. The data remains for decades, even without power. So how do you get rid of the evidence? Well, just don't throw it in the river and walk away. Join over 650,000 folks who get my free newsletter every single morning. Sign up at getkim.com. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 answers. Rates rising or falling, inflation being up or down. Can someone please invent a crystal ball? Until then, over 41,000 businesses have future-proofed their business with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud ERP, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all into one fluid platform. With one unified business management suite, there's one source of truth, giving you the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. With real-time insights and forecasting, you're peering into the future with actionable data. When you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you're spending less time looking backward and more time on what's next. And speaking of opportunity, you can now download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Kim. The guide is free for you at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim. netsuite.com/Kim.
Half a day, kids. This is Kiko the Cocoa Bird inviting you to GVB's 2025 Kids Fun Run on Saturday, April 12th at the Ipoh Beach Governor Joseph Flores Memorial Park in Tumon. Registration is only $10 and includes a t-shirt, finisher medal, and a morning full of fun games, activities, post-race refreshments, and much more. The Cocoa Kids Fun Run is open to kids all ages 4 to 12, so bring the whole family and enjoy a morning full of Half a Day spirit. Register online at visitguam.com today.
Half a day. Kim Anderson from Security Title here to share some behind-the-scenes functions of a title company. First, we search the chain of title to property, and when a critical link is missing, we work with the owners to correct their ownership. When it comes to a sale, we work closely with realtors and lenders to ensure a smooth closing. Finally, we back up our work with a title insurance policy that guarantees the buyer they actually own the property. Security Title has the management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Whoever said no risk, no reward has never been sued. Hi, I'm Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and our job for over 70 years has been to help businesses just like yours manage risk. Manage risk? We will never be able to totally eliminate the myriad of risks every business faces, but we can help you manage them and recover when disaster strikes. From mom and pop operations to high-rise hotels, we're the experts businesses have counted on for many years. Call me today at 777-2668 for a free risk review and consultation.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
8 after 9, Ray Gibson Show, being brought to you by the guys over at APL, American President Lines. A global presence with a local home, and my team over at Mescla. You can find them in downtown again. You already, I mean, it's like I could read off the menu. I'd say, oh, this is what they've got over at Mescla. But fact is that most of you already know what's on the menu at Mescla. Most of you probably already have a favorite, the thing that you go to every single time you eat there. It's like they don't need to bring you the menu. You walk in and a lady already knows what you want. They know which chair you want to eat. They know what kind of beer you want, and they know what your entree is going to be. So I'm not going to bother with that. I've got a $50 gift certificate. In fact, I'll tell you how you can win it right now. And every once in a while, I see Mr. Woostig on the side of the road. And this is my life.
Sweet corn.
I'm either headed in the wrong direction, or if I'm headed in the correct direction, I don't have any money. That's the way it works with Mr. Woostig. And the truth is, the crazy thing is, if you just go, hey, can I get you next time? He'd give you, not only would he give you, a bag worth, but he'd also give you some more, because he didn't want to go back empty-handed, with inventory in the truck. So here's an interesting corn panty tear question. That's how we say it here. That's how we say it here. It's supposed to be corn, your panties torn. But around here is corn, your panties tear. So here's your corn, panties tear trivia question. Corn is produced on every continent except one. Name it. You have to go, wait. What's the list of continents? Just look it up. It'll make sense. If you look at a list of continents, it will make sense to you. Corn is produced on every continent except one. Name it. No choices. You don't need it. While we're waiting for somebody to call in and win this $50 gift certificate from Mescla. Oh, wait, I should end the break. More Ray Gibson Show after this.
Rediscover Talk Radio here.
Push that button.
Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
I'm sorry, was that my naughty laugh? Yep, okay. No, because I'm just being Ray. What can I say? 888-8255, 888-TALK. Corn is produced on every continent except one. Name it for $50 worth of chow from my friends over
Mexico.
at... Mexico is not a continent, but thank you very much. So I was, after a considerable amount of time and unanswered telephone calls this morning, my concerns about the whereabouts of one real Joe Cruz were starting to get somewhat serious. I reached out to the mayor to go and do a wellness check over at the house. And because one of two possibilities were in my head. One of them was he's dead because he's never, ever been late. He's never called in sick. Is either dead or arrested was the other one.
Oh yeah, I could have been in prison.
That one was probably in my head.
You were hoping.
And then after a while, you
better be in jail, Joe.
There was that moment where I was kind of mad, and I thought, where then could he have possibly been last night that would have caused him to either be dead or arrested? And then I remembered, hey, didn't Brett Young perform last night for the 36th Wing Commander?
You know I can't get on base, man.
And then I'm starting to think, you know what? That SOB went to the concert and got drunk up and stayed out too late to wake
Stash
up.
and Sarita, I was not there. You know I would have been up front, man, grabbing at his leg.
Right, Stash and Sarita were there. I saw the pictures of it. Now everybody's posting this morning on oh, look at how much fun we had over at the thing. Gotcha. At 9:12 on the Ray Gibson Show. Do I have any contestants?
You have Ed on line 1. You have Victor on line 2.
All right, Victor, if Ed doesn't make it, I'm coming to you, but let me see if I can get somebody a winner here. Good morning, Ed. How you doing?
Good.
Glad to hear it. Did you watch Brett Young last night with the 36th Wing Commander?
Oh, unfortunately, I did not.
You did not. Well, I tell you what, let me see if I can make your weekend complete. Corn is produced on every continent except one. Which one is it?
Antarctica.
The man is right. This man, he knows his corn.
Wait, there's no corn there?
There's no corn in
I'm
Antarctica.
I'm not going there then.
Other side of the pole, I guess there must be some kind of a plantation or something where they make corn. Ed, can you hold on a second? I'm going to put you on hold, and Real Joe is going to say things to you that only winners get to hear. Is that all right?
That is awesome. Thank you.
Really, really good. So, but before I put you on, is there anything going on in the world that you just turning around in your head this morning that we haven't gotten to yet?
No, man. No. No. Good.
Okay. All right then. I'm glad that you were here to catch the contest and congratulate. No, everything is
He
okay.
doesn't
Ray.
pay taxes, Ray.
Don't look at your 401k today. Whatever investments that you've got, don't look at the paperwork today because it's ugly. Haven't had a chance to take a look at the markets. I briefed you on it earlier. In fact, Jerry Roberts did an entire extra point on the tariff deal, and I'll explain it this way, about the same way as he did. Look, the markets are going to do what the markets are going to do, and Trump with the tariffs here have got the usual. I mean, you think about it, the only people that are really complaining about the tariffs, with very few exceptions, are the guys that would complain about anything that Donald Trump does. Anything that he does. I mean, he's thrown out this idea that he might do a third term. And
He can, right? Because he skipped one. Right?
I think it would require a change to the 22nd Amendment. And those are difficult. But you know, the guy's got his approval ratings are insane. Among most Americans, it's just the Trump derangement people, and they don't have much quarter to hide in, because while Trump's got these, you know, like I said, insane approval ratings, you've got the Democrats who have insane approval ratings as well, lowest in the history of the Democratic Party.
You want Pika's worse.
Exactly. Pika's worse. No, and we don't like what Trump is doing, but there's not much of a party that we've got left. You know, I told you the numbers yesterday, like 21% approval rating, which means a 79% disapproval rating. Among everybody. I mean, even the Democrats are having a hard time loving themselves these days. I haven't really had a chance to go over, you know, some of the things that lead into that identity crisis. I might do it just because it makes me smile. I might not do it because occasionally I will get lectured by a listener saying, you know, there'd be a lot more people listening to your broadcast if you weren't such a conservative. If you weren't such a Trump lover, there'd be a lot more people that would be listening to your broadcast. And I'm going, yeah, but that number apparently keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So I don't know if that would make good programming sense, good economic sense, if you will. But I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about that if you want to. Speaking of economic sense, I want to save you some money. Number one, we want you helping out my boys over at Boss. We want to help you get to Manila, Mall of Asia Arena. It'll be taking place on the 4th of May. Now, we've got airplane rides for you aboard Philippine Airlines. Yeah. I've got 25,000 pesos.
That's a lot of money if you really think about it.
In Manila.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
In Manila. But for me and you, it'd be a nice day over at the mall. But yeah, that'll get you going places in Manila. Don't do the conversion until after you win it. It will be in your exchanged e-wallet, and you can use that for Gcash. Do what I did last time. Is I got myself one of these eSIMs for the Gibson for my phone. And you can get these introductory plans. So like the first couple of days I was in PI last time, the eSIM worked. And when it stopped working, I thought, oh, my God, how am I going to – I don't want to have to go through this whole process on the phone. I was talking to somebody in the B&B, and they said, no, just go to the 7-Eleven down the street, go over there, and they'll do this with Gcash. And I said, well, how does that work? He said, well, you give them regular money, and they give you Gcash, and there's a machine right there that will allow you to reload your eSIM. I thought, okay, that's a great way to do this. But if you've got Exchanged on your phone, if you got the Exchanged app, it will allow you to do that, so you don't have to give anybody any money. It's just the Gcash is in your e-wallet with the Exchanged app. Now, maybe you do a lot of traveling and this makes a lot of sense to you, or maybe you've never been to the Philippines but want to win the contest anyway. So here's what you need: a passport, number one, and number two, Exchanged app on your phone. Once you download the app and then register the app, this is important now, and there's a few steps that are involved, but you don't have to put any money anywhere. When you win the contest, we'll put that 25,000 pesos in there. and then you can enjoy the Philippines, and then you can enjoy the concert, and you can enjoy the airplane ride, and so much more. Now, every day we will announce another set of names. You don't need to call in inside of 10 minutes. You're already qualified by virtue of the fact that you've downloaded the Exchange app. It's on your phone. It's registered and ready to accept our 25,000 pesos. You are now registered for the contest. If we call your name, they send me a list of 5 names. Today's names include Layla Duenas.
Ow!
Now, Layla's, I think, aunt reached out to me a little bit earlier and says, that's my girl. I said, call her and let her know to come by the radio station, get her free food from Burger King.
Nepotism.
And then we're all going to hang out over at Boonies for the grand prize drawing. That's name number 1. Name number 2, Leomar Baculfo, Baculfo. There's Owen, I love this name, Ku Gui. Gue. So I'm assuming it's like Gogui, so Ku Gui. Rafael de Guzman Mejia, Mejia, and Camille Quimbao, Quiambao. If that's you, like I said, you don't have to rush to a phone or anything like that.
You want something.
10 o'clock this morning, we'll come by the radio station, and then we'll put the Burger King food in your hands. And thank you so much, BK and Rudy Rodolfo, for helping out with the daily winners and all of that stuff. I wish there was more information I needed to give you, but frankly, that's it.
But you can't visit family members when you go there.
No, not at all.
Only the concert.
No, you got to go to the concert and stay in the room.
I know most of them are going back there, Ray, just to see family.
If you can, I don't know. You know what I keep thinking is I see our family and friends when they go to the Philippines, and they don't go just to the Manila anymore. You know, the Manila is a stop. And then they'll get on another plane and go down to Cebu or maybe, Siargao or some of these other, resort destinations. And I have not yet gotten to the point where I'm okay doing that. Yeah.
Tagaytay.
But I don't know. I mean, because it apparently takes a degree of planning that I'm not good at. So I'll get to Manila and they'll say, "Oh, are you going to go to here or there?" And I'm like, "No." How do I get there? And they're like, "Oh, if you're asking me now, forget it. There's no time to put this together."
It's a long car ride.
My old man used to love to go to Corregidor. And that was always a part of his plan. So when he went to the Philippines, he's a big history buff, World War II guy, kind of, the same way some of us are with Vietnam, where we were too young for Vietnam, but too old for the Gulf War. Among the reasons why I never had the privilege of serving in the armed forces was I was just in between everything. Having said that, though, Pop was likewise too young for World War II and too old for Vietnam. And so his fascination was going around to some of these places where the war was fought and just kind of, observing, revering the heroics and the sacrifice and that kind of thing. And so he'd like to get down to Corregidor. I likewise want to go to Corregidor to walk in my father's footsteps down there. But every time I've been there, you call up the company and say, "Hey, listen, I want to go to Corregidor. Can I get on a ferry boat?" And they'll go, you needed to call about 7 months ago. This thing is booked like you wouldn't believe. And so that's my problem. Strolling down Burgos is not allowed, says Carl Meyer. I'm not allowed to go.
Who said that?
I don't know. What is Burgos? What is that a reference to?
That's the nicest part of Manila, actually.
Joe Takai talking about Greenland. I don't know. Gene Fujikawa. Oh, he's in town. Great to be back in town. Follow up with doctor's appointment and errands. Later, head back to Vietnam for another 3 months. Have a good day. Speaking of Vietnam, and just as a note, excuse me, family and friends of Bob Gaith, who passed away sadly last week in Vietnam. Unexpected, unfortunately, a week before last, sorry. And there will be an observance, as is traditional, with guys that have got some connections to the media. We will be taking over a spot over at Pirates Cove about 2 o'clock on Sunday. Didn't want to interfere with any of their regular lunchtime customers, and so that's kind of a note if you're going to go and want to eat there. Recommendation is get there a little bit earlier and then order early because you might be hitting their lunchtime rush. We're going to try to avoid that by getting things started about 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. So those of you that have got memories of Jukebox Saturday night, maybe calling in on the occasional morning show over at K57, you're more than welcome to come by and say hello to, as I said, family and friends. Somebody had earlier typed in on the Facebook side a note today, a kind of a day of mourning, recalling Speaker and Senator Mark Forbes and Senator and lawyer and just about everything. Afternoon talk show host Bob Klitsky next week and the week after is going to be a little bit busy for funerals. Speaker Forbes is going to have his arrangements on the 9th. And I believe that's going to be up at Addis. And the following week, in fact, there have been rosaries, et cetera, already. Our Lady of Lourdes Church up in Jigo, where on the 15th, will be all of the burial arrangements for Bob Klitsky. And I'll make a recommendation there. Get there early for both of those particular viewings and funeral arrangements, because you know it's going to be busy. There's going to be long lines for folks to go and pay their last respects to both of these individuals. And can you imagine what it will look like? I don't know to what degree. Somebody said that Bob wasn't crazy about funeral processions, but can you imagine his procession from Jigo Town all the way to Veterans?
I don't think he realized how many people loved him.
All the way to Veterans Cemetery.
Really don't.
I mean, I had an inkling, but I tell you what, the outpouring over the last couple of days has been nothing short of just biblical. It's just amazing. And lots of different people from lots of different places that have reached out to me on behalf of their families, to reach out to Auntie Lou and the rest of that family to express my condolences. I'll try to keep a pretty good inventory of all of the everybody's that have kind of chimed in on this. 9:25, Ray Gibson Show. We're working till 10, right? All right, groovy. A couple of things to get to between here and there. I have not had the opportunity or an excuse to reach out to Attorney General Doug Moylan today. There's a few other people I'm very interested in talking to. But in this case, a reminder that he's going to have another one of these village tours to talk to everybody about how you can protect yourself. Protect one another. Tamuning Village Q&A. This will take place not tomorrow, but next Saturday, over at the Tamuning Senior Citizen Center. It's a flyer says, come and ask General Moylan and team your questions on Guam's castle doctrine, self-defense laws, and more. You will discuss the powerful role of the jury if it comes up, your home and curtilage, home defense, a militia to defeat a corrupt government.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's what the Second Amendment is based on, is it not?
That's right.
Second Amendment, right to bear arms, that kind of thing. So, I mean, all of that will come. And if you've got any other questions about, just kind of AG stuff, Doug Moylan stuff, I'm sure that there will be more than one or two people that will be at the event. Again, it's going to be at the Tamuning Village Senior Citizen Center, April 12th, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So King's for lunch and then kind of mosey over on the way. And maybe Applebee's because they have beer. Big Wave on tap, just FYI. Michelob Ultra on tap, FYI. So you might want to roll out there. There's another thing about him working with the 8th grade Voyagers at Jose Rios to learn the power of respect. That ought to be something that we teach all of the kids all of the time at all of the schools. So hopefully that gets out there and there's a little bit more of that. And maybe a little bit more of an interesting conversation about why all of a sudden I'm noticing that the kids in my neighborhood are at the bus shelter at 4:30 in the morning. Saw that again today, and I thought, were they out gallivanting all night? Or is this a new thing where they've got to wake up about the same time as morning guys at radio stations so that they can go and catch an early morning bus? Don't know too much about that. GDOE has put out their schedule, not the daily bus schedule, but the spring recess schedule. And I don't know why, but I'm looking forward to this. April 14th through the 18th, so you have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, Sounds short, but that's the entire week before it gets to be Easter Sunday. That's when they're going to be doing all of this stuff. So make plans to have no classes for students and teachers in the public school system, at least through that time. Just as a notice, because I know that there might be some cases where parents are going, I don't know anything until the kids tell me. Sungi Marijuana Guam online on the Facebook, YouTube side, far from home.
God.
Says Buenos Ray and ThePOINT Familia, JW, promotions and raises for accountability. Let's hear it. Matt Galendez there. Colin Clark hanging out with us. Tattoo Sean Gumatau saying good morning from Hagutnya. Glad you guys finally got on the air today. No one happier than me, as a matter of fact.
Wow, that's a dig at me, Ray.
No, only if you take it that way.
I'm just kidding, man.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. But where was the other part of this? I thought maybe I'd take a look and see if there's anybody else playing around on the socials right now. I got Gene Fujikawa, like I said. Welcome home. Good to have you there. Carl Meyer telling me that I'm not allowed to stroll down Burgo Street. I'm not sure, like I said, what that's in reference to. I might have to find
He's never been there.
Another old campaigner from the Philippines to sort all of that stuff out. Who's on the phone?
Senator Will Parkinson.
Won't.
Oh, won't.
Yeah,
Oh.
we got to call him.
Affectionately known as.
Even Will, understood the role of Bob Klitsky in the afternoons here on the radio station, and frankly, the fact that you got a Bob Klitsky nickname, I think is an accomplishment. Congratulations to you, Will. It's good to have you on the air.
Thank you so much. Like I've always, always gave me that nickname as a little bit of a jab at me. I always wore it with pride because, I advertised on this station, Will Parkinson won't stop fighting for you. And, I really got to say that I'm going to miss Bob a lot. I remember listening to one of his last broadcasts while I was on vacation in Peru. And so, even when I was on vacation, I couldn't stop listening to Bob. And of all the talk radio people, of all the news people, I respected Bob's intelligence and competence the most. And I thought that among radio people, he probably saw me the most clear.
I don't want to say it's possible because he had incredible vision. He had incredible capabilities, and perhaps maybe with some of those jibes that were said at you. I guarantee that none of it had any malice intent. It's just the way Bob is, and hopefully that for as long as you are involved in political representation, it will be guardrails for you. So you know where the Bob extreme is on the right, if you will.
Exactly. I know where the Bob guardrail is, and I'm always conscious when I touch it.
Exactly. But I noticed that you're on a full-blown tear here with your comments about your colleagues over at the legislature not backing you up on going to the Fed and the Department of Defense and asking them to put together kind of shelters and air raid shelters for the people. You're languishing on that longer than you have, I think, with any of the other issues from the legislature.
It made me languish on it because at first I was upset and disappointed at it. And then when I thought about it more, the thing that really put me over the top on it was the idea that, wait a minute, this is the first time Guam has ever had a conversation about civilian defense publicly and openly like this. But now we have a record that we, the people of Guam, have voted no to ask the feds for help and defense. And the people that pay attention in Washington, they will see this and be like, they'll be like, maybe we don't need to give them as much help and need as necessary because they don't seem to want or need it. And
wait, hold on one second. Exactly my comments last night with regard to the $26 million that we could not spend for the Department of Education.
Oh my God! Please,
Exactly my point. You know, we always got our hands out,
oh my goodness,
and then they put money in it, and we can't spend it. And you remember, I remember distinctly listening to you at an oversight hearing over Guam Memorial Hospital recently, where they had to lament, as shyly as they do over at the legislature, that they did not spend $20 million to fix things up at Guam Memorial Hospital. They spent $20 million on vendors, and oopsie. We lost track. Oh, my God. And I'm sitting there going, and I was with you. I agreed with you 100%. Somebody needs to get fired. $10 million in that facility that absolutely needs every spare penny.
I wanted to see scalps that day, and we never got any. And that's how I feel about this thing with DOE. Somebody's head needs to roll for this, because how do we lose $27 million?
Shameful.
You know what we could have done with $27 million? That's like 5 months of power credits. There's a lot of things we could have done with that $27 million. And now I got to ask, what projects are lacking $27 million because we had to backfill this mistake made by the Department of Education? One of my fundamental things that I believe we should take the most advantage of is use the federal government to buoy and anchor our financials here on Guam. And this is completely contra to that idea, because we are giving money back to the feds. Any federal dollar that comes to Guam should never go back. It should always be spent here to benefit the island in some way, some capacity. And no, I'm going to feel the same way I felt about with the hospital. Somebody needs to resign over this. Someone needs to accept accountability over this. Somebody needs to go in there and do the job the previous person can't, because we cannot afford to lose tens of millions of dollars because of paperwork oopsies or whatever reason it is that they didn't get it done.
I was supremely disappointed, and as I said, you know, when a buddy of mine and I were talking about this last night, and I saw, you know, this affects our credibility out here in the hinges of the republic, and the fringes of the republic, where we're sitting around lamenting and always, you know, complaining about our relationship with the federal government. We don't get enough out of them. We don't get enough respect. We don't get enough money. And here they sent us millions and millions of dollars that would have gone a long way to resolving some of these problems, and we didn't use it and have to send it back. How is that going to look the next time that we complain and hold our hand out to Uncle Fed, whether we're talking about helping us build a new hospital or underground bunkers?
Yeah, exactly. I don't like the message we're sending that we don't need money for education, that we don't need money for civilian defense. Like, are you crazy? We are between two empires about to shoot each other. In the Pacific, like it's World War III again. And I want to be prepared. I want to start getting the gears of motion to get these air raid defense shelters. I want a better answer than go hide out in your home and hope for the best and pray. No, like I want to know that we have places that are stockpiled, that we have places that are hardened, so that when people need to run to a place to protect themselves when the worst day of our lives comes, we are prepared, that our leaders did what they could to make sure that we have all the tools necessary. You know, and this is not just air raid defense shelters. This is also like hardening of other civilian infrastructure. This is hardening to make sure we're not being affected by cyber attacks, that we are not losing critical infrastructure like power and water before a bomb ever falls. So it's not just air raid defense shelters, it's everything that goes into it with civilian defense, because it's not just that, it's what we need, the infrastructure, the federal and civilian cooperation and training. Places like Korea and Japan, they have training exercises with the federal government.
Taiwan. You know, what do we have? We get the horn that goes off every first Tuesday of the month, right? I was down in Tumon when I heard that.
For me, that does not seem enough.
No, well,
if our government can do this with foreign countries, we could certainly do it with Americans.
I don't have all of the ideas in my head. There's documentation that is out there, obviously, but I would like to have that conversation a little bit louder, a little bit deeper. It just feels like there's only a handful of us that are concerned about the possibility of nuclear annihilation, and worse, what happens if we are not annihilated in a bright flash? What if we survive an attack? What's going to happen? How will we fend for ourselves in the event that a bomb goes off? What if it's something that is not symmetrical, asymmetrical, like the EMP blast over the island that knocks out every transistor around? Nothing will move. Period. Anything that's computer controlled, anything that is not old analog stuff, just simply isn't going to work. What's going to happen then? How are diabetics going to get their keep insulin cold? That kind of thing. How are we going to make it so that that people that all of a sudden find that they have to walk from where they're at home don't collapse from heart attacks and die because they're in lousy shape? All of these kinds of questions that need to get answered here. Who's going to what happens? What's our primary defense? What's our secondary defense in the event of that? I don't know that anybody is thinking about those kinds of things. And if you are, you're probably being listed as a prepper, a doomsday prepper. And I think there are connotations and people that would say things like doomsday prepper as a slur, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I completely understand what you mean. And I totally take your point about we need to deepen this conversation. And I think that's what made me so angry about how this all went down. I've taken L's before on bills. I've lost before, and that's always no big deal. But what really made me upset about this is that I welcomed any and all conversation and amendments and changes that anybody wanted to make, because I always believed that this wasn't just my resolution. This was all our resolution. Mm-hmm. And to have it come down to a vote with nobody saying anything for it, nobody saying anything against it, no one saying anything to change it, just utter silence on one of the most important conversations in our island's history. And that's really the mystery to me, is like, I don't even know why they voted no. I don't even know why they voted no, Ray. Like, if anybody could get one of these Republican senators to answer why they voted no, I would be greatly enlightened by that, because I don't know. I'm willing to have this conversation on civil defense, but I don't even know what they found so objectionable about it. And
how did Frank Bloss Jr. and Sean vote?
They all voted no.
Everybody
all the Republicans voted no, and nobody said a word. Nobody said a word before, nobody said a word after, and nobody said a word since about why civilian defense should not be asked for.
Then you're right. Maybe they just don't like you.
Well, I doubt that, because my mom says I'm delightful.
I think you're delightful too. Well, happy to give you the platform for this. There are very few things that keep me awake at night or wake me up, stir me from my sleep, and that's one of them. Is just wondering what's going to happen if there's a bright flash. How are we going to make it? The doomsday scenario. It's not going to be like it is right now. If there's a bomb blast on Guam, forget the roads, forget your car. You're going to be climbing over rubble and debris. It's going to be awful. What's going to happen? Where are we all going to go to Guam Memorial Hospital? Is that the thing? Is it we're all going to line up over there for disaster aid amidst the mold and the leaky roofs?
If we have a hospital, that could be a potential target too. What are we going to do if a hospital is one of the targets in a flyby attack?
Well, was it once upon a time the original Guam Memorial Hospital? Wasn't that one a shelter? Did it not have the civil defense sign on it? I want to say the old administration building, maybe the cathedral grade school. There's a bunch of buildings in the downtown Agutnia area that have been designated shelters.
Yes, but I still think it's not enough. I still think that we are largely being left to fend for ourselves. And God help us the day we start seeing the officers send out their wives and families back home, because no good thing happens when that day comes.
9:41 in the morning. I appreciate the history and the future fetch. You have a great day, Will. I'll see you in the neighborhood.
See you in the neighborhood. Rest in peace, Bob. I won't ever forget you.
There you go. There you go. Walt Parkinson on the point. It's 9:41. We're going to grab a break here, get some commercials on the air, come back after Joe Nuggan Charfers is all done with KUAM News.
Buenas and Holiday Guam, I'm Jonathan Charfres. Here's a look at 3 stories you need to know for Friday, April 4th. A convicted predator will spend 2 years behind bars for his crimes against a defenseless victim. On Wednesday, Judge John Terlahi handed down the maximum sentence for 70-year-old Peter Scott von Schimpf. A jury unanimously found him guilty of attempted 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct and abuse of an incompetent. His victim, a nonverbal autistic woman. Attorney General Prosecutor Christine Tenorio led the charge, ensuring von Schimpf was held accountable. He must now register as a level 3 sex offender. The people of Guam spoke through their jury, and the court delivered. No leniency for those who prey on the vulnerable. Guam Community College celebrated the graduation of 16 ship repair pre-apprentices in a completion ceremony on Wednesday. The boot camp is funded through the Metallica Scholars Initiative and provides students with training in blueprint reading, surface paint preparation, marine diesel, and industry certifications. GCC President Dr. Mary Okada praised the program's success in connecting participants with employers like Cabras Marine Corporation, Guam Shipyard, and CFIX. Graduate Lucy Lynn Castro stated the boot camp has helped her move from an entry-level job into something better. All 16 completers have been offered employment, showcasing the impact of GCC's boot camp model in building a skilled workforce for Guam. And GTA just announced during a special event Thursday morning from their Tumuning location that GTA will transition from its legacy TV service to GTA TV. Vice President of Product and Marketing Nate Deniet says, quote, "We're extremely excited to introduce you to the future of entertainment here at GTA, and we are proud to launch GTA TV, our brand new live streaming TV platform designed to enhance your viewing experience. Now subscribers can enjoy their favorite content on popular streaming boxes like Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, Roku, and more, as well as their smartphones and tablets. The GTA TV app will be available for download on popular app stores like Apple and Google Play. For these stories and more, make sure to visit KUAM.com. Or you can also stream our newscast on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Don't forget to follow KUAM News on Instagram for the very latest. You can also watch us on Peacock. Jonathan Charfres, KUAM News.
Celebrate 75 years of Payless Supermarkets with a $5 off fuel coupon to redeem at any 76 Circle K location when you shop and save at Payless Supermarkets. That's right, $5 off fuel with every $75 purchase at any Payless location. But hurry, this offer is only good from March 1st to April 30th, 2025. So don't miss out. Stock up on groceries and hit the road with fuel savings from Payless Supermarkets and 76 Circle K. Minimum $30 fuel purchase required to redeem coupon. Some conditions apply.
Hey, look at the time already, 9:44. No frowny face Friday. But if you've got if you want, I'm sorry, if you are frowny face about stuff on Guam and weren't able to get it off your chest, I urge you to tune in to what was it, about 8:15 this morning?
Yeah.
With Pica's best mayor, Jess Allig. We were originally reaching out to him to get some comment from the guy that's running the mayor's council basically these days and get his thoughts on among the decisions that they made recently about the carnival and the liberation festivities and the activities surrounding that, up to and including the fact that nobody seems to be asking for a carnival or a casino. We might be the only ones that have brought it up at all. But otherwise, he mentioned to the guys at the Mayor's Council that nobody's really asking about that kind of thing. But just in case, we better get a Liberation Queen out here. And so they've expanded, if you will, your eligibility to become the next Liberation Queen.
It could be me.
No, it can't.
What?
Because you got ding ding.
Oh, that's right.
And nobody with ding dings are allowed to be the queens. And I'm just waiting for the LGBTQIA whatever to start making noises and protesting the guys over at the Mayor's Council for their what do we call it, lack of compassion and inclusiveness. We'll see. Is that is that an arena that they really want to fight in? But I wanted to get some conversation about that. Maybe if we get a chance, we'll renew that conversation. But it was more important for Mayor Allig to call in about the lingering problems that we have in all of the villages. Virtually every home on Guam, somebody is being impacted by crystal methamphetamine. It was a shooting last night down in Agate. I could tell you where it is, but all I got to say is there's a shooting in Agate. I'm sure that members of the community down there already know where it took place. and who may have been involved. Details lacking right now from because the investigations have not been vetted yet by the police department. But eventually it will, and eventually I'm sure that there will be the taint, the smell, the odor of crystal methamphetamine associated with that particular case. And he wanted to take advantage of the airtime to talk about how it is that there are people that are having conferences and they've got grant money and they travel off island. They go to all of these things that they're supposed to put a dent in the crystal methamphetamine community here on Guam. But the problem is getting worse instead of better. It's like all of that money that I think they recently got a thing for the homeless. And I'm going, okay, well, how are we going to use that money to get actual homeless people into a home? Or is that just going to go for meetings and get-togethers in fancy meeting rooms at the fancy hotels that we've got here on Guam? I don't know. It seems to be a whole lot more meetings going on than actual action taking place. In the meantime, the rest of the island continues to fall around our shoulders. 888-8255, 888-TALK. Is that Andy?
That's your buddy, Andy.
I know Andy. How you doing there, bro?
You said you're friends.
And we're
Hey,
pals.
happy Friday, Raymond.
Happy
Big
Friday,
Joe.
Happy Friday to you. I went to both of our locations yesterday and didn't find you. You've been busy.
Yeah, I had to close up the shop. I had to close up here, so I couldn't make it. My apologies for that. And I know it's no frowny face Friday, but I want to give a shout out to the judge and Bob. You know, I definitely liked hearing him on the radio. I called in a number of times.
Oh, yeah.
You always had a really amazing kind of take on Guam, and you know, if we've lost anything in the last couple of deaths, we've lost this like history. You know, this kind of look through history. And that is a looking glass, and that we don't need to lose that sort of thing out here because we're on a precipice.
Well, as I said, you know, if you, I was going to say, well, there's an opening for curmudgeon out there, and we'll take all comers here when we start thinking about that. There needs to be more louder voices and people that are sick and tired of putting up with the nonsense, with the decline, really, of our civilization out here, and nobody seems to be aware or care one way or the other. It is as though they don't see it or recognize it as among the priorities, the things that actual people expect out of their government.
No, I don't think they do, Ray. And I'm okay being a curmudgeon. I couldn't fill Bob's shoes. I think that's going to take like 8 men, and one of them isn't even born yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that sort of thing. But you know, there's an old saying in investing. It's invest in places where there's blood in the streets. You know, sometimes investors mean that literally, like people run to Puerto Rico after a hurricane and stuff. But I don't think anybody means it when they look at Guam and they think about people getting shot in agate, you know, their blood on the side of the road by the bus station. I think that's a wake up call to everybody sitting at Adelup, everybody sitting at any station that's had a meeting on meth this year.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, you're failing, and it sucks for all of us. Pardon my language.
But nothing to apologize for. It's okay to say it sucks. But, you know, it just feels like when you do, it comes off and they feel like they're being criticized for their incompetence. And you know what? You are. That's why people, that's why we invented words like that, because we're unhappy with the direction that this town has been going. And, you know, it's easy to say it's been going to hell in the last almost 7 years. You get no disagreement, but the trend in the opposite direction seems to have happened a long time ago. And you know, and among the people that need to be held accountable are the folks that keep voting for the status quo and not encouraging and supporting when a wild voice or, you know, a more novel approach pops up. You know, you look at those things with some kind of derision, but in the meantime, the ones, all of the pretty ones that run, the pretty people in the government, they keep getting back in. You know, we've got to do a better job of encouraging some of these isolated voices to find some space on a ballot, get them in, and start disrupting. I mean, there's a lot of people who have got different feelings about Won't Parkinson, but at least in my mind, he's disruptive. I like Chris Barnett because he's disruptive, and I think there needs to be more of that. I think there needs to be more public hearings over at the legislature where people are uncomfortable with the nature of the conversation, and uncomfortable when people like Sabrina Salas-Matanani and Chris Barnett and others ask them very direct questions. More uncomfort, better for us.
I think you're completely right. I mean, because the legislature won't vote themselves in to be a part-time legislature or do it half the time, The people have to elect the people to make those decisions. We need to intervene in that space and say, look, you've done this 8 cycles now, and you haven't done anything or my business. GRT still 5%. We're still struggling. Mayor Alex said something very important. He said, you know, the older people in the neighborhoods, the people that are just do-gooders, you know, follow the laws, those are the people that are suffering. Those are the people that are scared in their homes right now. You know, I've got a personal issue on my block. I watch traffic come in and out of a house at the end of my cul-de-sac multiple times a day, multiple cars. The other day at 9:30, I saw 2 bikes come in the span of like 5 minutes. I called the Central Station, and I commended them on painting it finally.
And they did.
Yeah, they finally did. It looks good. But there's still nobody working there because I live right behind the Central Station, and they couldn't even send a car over. When I called in the morning, the duty officer in the morning didn't even know that I'd called the night before. What if somebody would have come and hacked me up that night because I confronted my neighbor for self-defense on my cul-de-sac? Who would have known? Nobody would have known. And in the meantime, my kid can't go to the bus stop. He can't play in the yard. The neighbor kids can't play in the yard because of traffic to and from the cul-de-sac. Like, this is a big deal. When I called the Office of Attorney General to report my concerns, like a Crime Stopper type issue, the Crimes Division asked me if I could look up the number to GPD on my own and told me I was being snarky. So unless a sea change happens at all of these institutions, we're screwed.
Yeah, well, just assume that we're screwed and act accordingly. And again, a reminder, the Attorney General's office will be at the Tamuning Mayor's office on the Senior Citizen Center on the 12th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And any questions that you've got about protecting yourself and your family with any means necessary, up to and including some of our favorite brand name firearms, they will be there to answer all of your questions and define curtilage.
Absolutely. My 870's got 5 shots sitting in it waiting for the next guy to come and approach my doorstep. It's not going to be a pretty day for that.
Well, let's get into a pretty conversation. I understand there's a new beer over at Carabao.
Well, this isn't why I came out here.
I know. But I'm trying to move the conversation to, I heard there's a new beer at Carabao.
There is. It's a tasty beer. I've already had it off of the big distiller. They kegged it today. It should be available this week. I've talked to Anna. I don't know what its name is, but we're calling it Southern Mountain Beer 2.0. It's really good.
Southern Mountain Beer 1.0 is pretty good.
It was tasty. That's true. It was really tasty.
Huh. All right. So is it a new recipe? Have they done something different? Are we actually dripping sweat of the Southern Mountain Gear runners?
You know, I don't know that they've distilled any of those fine essences down yet, but it's got a good lager taste. It was cold and tasty, and I think it's going to be a hit.
All right. Well, we'll try. We'll toast each other when we see each other with that beer in particular. I'll see you pretty soon, buddy. 954-888-255888-TALK. Do I have another break that we got to do before?
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
How long? Well, I don't want to take too much time away from Carl. So how long do you want?
Oh, we could do it.
We can do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So a quick break. Carl, be right back.
Eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at SubwayPacific.com for pickup at your convenience or delivery right to your doorstep. Online ordering at SubwayPacific.com is powered by Good To Go. We deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Every Monday at FHP Island Optical is Mystery Monday. Spin the wheel and receive amazing frame discounts up to 15%. Or hit the wild card for $40 off. Seniors, you'll save an extra 5%. Use your optical benefits, some conditions apply. And choose from our store-wide frame selection. Don't miss out on Mystery Mondays, where your new look is just a spin away. FHP Island Optical is located in Tamuning at the Century Plaza. FHP Island Optical, Guam's premier eyewear boutique.
Celebrating the 176th year anniversary of American President Lines. APL is a trusted partner to the U.S. government and its military. Our U.S. flagged vessels are proud to provide ocean transportation, logistics, and critical mission support worldwide, and most especially to our local partners right here on Guam and Saipan. APL has an extensive network that connects your shipping needs to anywhere in the world. The APL Guam team is dedicated and here to help you. Call 588-4651 or visit APL.com. APL Global Presence with a local home.
Where's the flyer for NGen? I want to get that up on the screen. NGen number whatever happening on Saturday tomorrow at NissanGuam.com and the World Wide Web is going to be a crazy get together. Fans of Datsuns and Nissans and Infinitis are going to be getting together. There will be car show. There will be all kinds of crazy activities taking place. There will be street food. We got drifting inside. We got drifting outside. Absolutely free to the public. Fun starts again on the 5th at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Whatever your plans are, make sure that you end up there. Goes until 9. You get an opportunity to sit down in the simulator and pretend to be one of those like race car drivers like they had in Gran Turismo and plenty more. All kinds of raffles going to be taking place again, free to the public. Just get to NissanGuam.com tomorrow. 5 o'clock for NGen at the Nissan Place. 9:57 and change. Got to be enough time to get the last words here on a Friday from our Carl. Buenas and off a day.
Hey, good morning, Ray.
You know it.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Senator Parkinson's comments. And, some people is pressing for air raid shelters or something like that. To me, this is it's well-intentioned. I understand that. But it's not realistic. We are entering the age of AI, and even more than that, quantum computing. We're talking about minutes from the time China fires this stuff with technology that they stole from us, by the way, and reaches us. What will happen is you're going to have a lot of people like, in the atomic bomb blast in Japan. You're just going to see outlines on the ground of people getting in their cars to go to the air raid shelters. This issue needs to go to the congressman to apply maximum pressure that we get the platinum version of a missile dome defense system. Maybe the governor could also
I've been asked to stop referring to it as an iron dome. People want me to call it a gold dome because of the extreme cost. Earlier this week, I unveiled plans out of the Pentagon, the Department of Defense. They have new radar systems that will be available. In fact, they'll have one set aside for Guam that will supersede the ones that we have now with a limited radar range. These will be able to see incoming threats in a 360 degree, which we do not have the capability for now. They're $130 million apiece, and one has already been earmarked to come to Guam.
Yeah, but
it'll help. But maybe more so to your point is not so much what we do to in the event that there's adequate warning as much as there is what do we do in the aftermath of a blast.
Yeah, well, to me, it's missile defense is really our main hope, and the congressman needs to apply maximum pressure. That we're the tip of the spear. We need the best protection there is.
But what happens? What happens if our gold dome misses one? We got to consider that as well. 10 o'clock in the morning. Can you call me on this on Monday? Can you reach out to me again Monday?
I will do that.
All right. Have a great weekend. That's our Carl. We are KEUSG. I got you 93.3. No frowny faces. See you on Monday.
Patient that needed surgery. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. That's President Trump's reaction after today's widespread sell-off on Wall Street after yesterday's announcement of tariffs of at least 10% on every U.S. trading partner.
Well, I mean, it's to be expected.
President speaking to reporters on Air Force One while on his way to Florida this afternoon. Stocks had their worst day since 2020, but the president says global manufacturers are pledging trillions of dollars in U.S. investments. The conservative legal group New Civil Liberties Alliance has filed a suit seeking to block the tariffs on Chinese imports. 19 states suing the Trump administration over the president's executive order to